to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something you cannot explain?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle in a city called Fresno, California. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for the show. I'm also the founder of a group called the Sanger Paranormal Society. Have been investigating the paranormal for over 13 years, so I've been there, done that. So the stuff that we talk about on here, we kind of know what we're talking about because we are out in the field. We have been investigating Bigfoot, UFOs, haunted locations for a long time. We have some great evidence, and that's why I started this program, to show you what we have. And it's my intent is to blow you away. And my co-host, who I usually have to the right of me, is still out of commission. But we're going to be calling him from his home, and we're going to be talking to him through the phone, and we're going to get him on the line, and he's pretty much going to stay with us as long as he can throughout the show, so that way you'll be able to hear him, and he'll be able to talk to us and have a great old time. So all right, so all you who are right now watching us on live stream, and you are looking at us right now, obviously, and thank you for showing up wherever you may be around the world. If you are listening to us on the Dark Matter Digital Network, welcome. If this is your first time, thank you for showing up. Tonight, we are going to be talking about everything paranormal, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories. Had some great stuff to show you, and again, my intent here is to blow you away. Hopefully, I'll have some stuff that you've never seen before. That way, you know that we're the real thing here. I mean, we don't lie on this program to get you to come back, because the stuff that we're going to show you tonight is just it's the real stuff. Okay, all right, we're going to be talking to Danny Valderrama. He is our Bigfoot reporter, and we talk to him every Sunday night at the beginning of the show. He gives us the 2 cents on Bigfoot worldwide. We are going to be doing something different tonight, and we're going to get Alan on the line here pretty quick, so that way he can go ahead and talk with us, and because he was with us when we did all this Bigfoot stuff. So we're going to get him on the line here pretty quick. But Danny Valderrama, we decided this past week, since we have a lot of new listeners and a lot of new watchers, we're going to be talking a lot about, I don't want to say a lot about Bigfoot, but we're going to show you some stuff that happened to us about 7-8 years ago that you probably have never seen. And all of the photographs that we're going to be showing you tonight on this Bigfoot topic is on the ArtBell.com website right now, homepage, marked Paranormal Central, and it is for today's date, and it has all 30 photographs. And Mr. Keith Rowland had a tough time putting all those on there, and we apologize, but we're doing something different today. We're going to we're going to bring everybody in tune on us on the Bigfoot side, and we're going to do that tonight. So we're going to be putting up some pictures here and on live stream, and those pictures are also the same ones that have been placed on the artbell.com website. So that way you guys all who are listening on the artbell.com website can go and just look at those photographs 1 through 30, and you guys could just follow along with us, so that way you guys are not lost. All right, so before I call Danny, let me get a hold of Alan. So that way everybody can go away. Because that last week, for those who don't know, my co-host Alan had surgery on his leg. They actually went in and did some work on his main artery, actually, on his right leg. And that's kind of dangerous when you're working on something like that. So we're going to get Alan on the line right now. And hopefully he's answering right now. All right, there you go.
Hello.
Alan.
Hey, Jeffrey.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. All right. Good. How you feeling?
Pretty good. I'm actually going to try and sit.
Oh.
For, because I can still look at the computer screen and be in chat and everything.
Okay.
But I'll do that as long as I can, and then I'll just go lay down if I have to.
Okay. Well, if there's any time that you have to leave us, just let us know, dude, so we understand.
All right. Okay.
Okay, let me get a hold of... actually, before I get a hold of Danny, I want to announce something really quick that happened to us a couple of days, actually on Thursday. We had... I got an email from Livestream. For those who don't know, Livestream is is the network that is broadcasting our feed worldwide HD video on Livestream. And they sent me an email on Thursday. And basically, they were telling us that congratulations, and let me find my little thingy. There it is. That this show here, out of all the shows on live stream, we are in the top 20% of the thousands and thousands and thousands of shows they have on live stream. We're on the top 20%. When I got that news, and Alan can probably verify this, that it takes a lot to stun me. That just came out of left field. I couldn't believe it. This is worldwide. There are on live stream shows that we're talking Oscar red carpets. We're talking NBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, TVs, everything. Whatever they broadcast also on live stream for people on the internet, and we just happen to be on the top 20% with those folks. And I want to say thank you very much for that. That is just totally awesome. And I knew we had an audience, but top 20% is just crazy. It is absolutely just remarkable for me to even think that. And I want to say thank you for all of you who are watching us at live stream, and for those who go back and watch the archives, because we have I don't know how many shows archived on live stream, Ellen?
100,
okay,
at least.
Okay, and we've been doing this a long time, so there are shows back that you guys don't even know about that obviously we don't have anymore, but you can always go back and watch the archives on the live stream network on our channel. And artbell.com, Keith, those guys out there are going to be archiving our shows on the podcast on the Art Bell site. So for those who don't want to watch it, and if you can't watch it because you're on the road and you just have the podcast, you can go and download the podcast for free for the Paranormal Central for shows on their site. So that's awesome. So, all right. So I just want to say thank you very much. And I think we're on our way. And what I mean by that is good things are coming towards us for the future. I can feel it, and I think it's going to happen here pretty soon. So, all right, let's go ahead and get a hold of Mr. Danny Valderrama.
Yeah, finally. Like when we're looking at the numbers and talking about it, like live stream doesn't give us any numbers, right?
Right.
So,
well,
I'm I'm sharing what we have and everything, and then Jeff's pretty quiet, and then he'll text back, I want 1 million. It's like nothing's even close. Maybe 250,000, but not 1 million.
Well, I don't know yet, but
it could be there.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do. Livestream sent me a email with we're going to, because you guys, we're not making any money on this. Not yet anyways. So in order for me to bump up our subscription on Livestream, because I'm paying per month right now for them to carry the show for you guys without, you guys paying for anything. And, they have packages as if you want to like embed your video on your website, analytics for your numbers, and so on and so on and so on. Well, they're asking me, dude, we see your numbers. We think you ought to really look at the analytics, and we're going to give you like 30% off if you do. And I think I'm going to take it because I want to know the exact numbers. I want to know the age groups, the locations, where around the world you guys are watching us, and that way we can go ahead and go from there and see if we can make things better for everybody. So that's what I'm going to do as soon as they call me back, hopefully tomorrow. So let me get a hold of Danny, and I send message. There you go. All right.
Hello.
Danny.
Hey.
What are you doing?
I'm just driving in my Lincoln.
You sound so quiet.
I love riding in my Lincoln.
Your Lincoln, are you selling drugs again?
All right.
You're smoking the crack again. I told you to stay off that crap. Dang it.
We have to rest up. It's a long show.
Long show. Yeah, I guess you're going to be on here for a while. And that's a good thing because we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun. We're going to be showing you guys in the next couple of minutes some Bigfoot stuff that hopefully you have never seen before. I know a lot of you guys have been watching this for years, but I don't know how far back you've been with us. So we're going to be showing you some stuff that has been happening since 2007. And like I said, Danny sent me over some photographs, and he also sent them over to the artbell.com website people at the Dark Matter Digital Network, and they have them on the homepage right now. And you'll see the face of the red Bigfoot face on there, and that's what you want to click on. So, Mr. Danny, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
Is Alan on too?
Yeah, Alan, you hear me, right?
Yeah, I can
hear you, but I can't hear Danny.
Oh, you can't hear Danny?
No.
Oh, there he goes. I can hear Alan.
That's okay, though.
Okay. Yeah, the way I you know what, I have another one of these things, but I'm going to have to work on that because I didn't expect both of you guys to be on. So, all right. So let's go ahead and start off with photograph number 1. And Danny went back in his archive. Danny's also a photographer, and he's been taking pictures since he's been with us for a long time. And he's been, archiving all these pictures, and I think he has a lot of photographs. And so he basically went in and found the stuff that I think you guys need to see. And we're going to show them to you right now. And I'm going to put up picture number 1, and that is picture number 1 of Mr. David Ragosa.
That's right.
This is the man.
Got about 30 pictures to show you guys.
Right. So this is the man, David Ragosa. When did you come into the play, Danny? Into my life, basically. When did you come into my life?
2011, sir.
2011. Okay.
I was there about the same time you met Alan.
Okay.
Because I think the memorial trip was our first trip.
Okay. And together, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of us. Wow. And was that the weekend of the windows?
That was.
Holy crap. Are you kidding me? Both. So Alan and Danny were there. I mean, together. I mean, I remember the situation. I mean, I remember the camping trip per se, but I didn't realize both of you guys. You imagine people listening to me out there. For the first time, Danny and Alan go with us Bigfooting, and the weekend of all this is when the Bigfoot left the impressions on the windows of my truck. I mean, you guys freaking lucked out big time. Alan lucked out. Danny, you did because you couldn't come with us when it happened, but you were there. You were there when all this happened, so that's awesome. So, okay. So David Ragosa, for all those who don't know, David Ragosa, in 2007, when I was investigating in the Sanger Paranormal Society, when I was doing my investigations of Bigfoot, I was also with MUFON at the time, and somebody told me there's a guy in Fresno, California, who's been investigating Bigfoot for 25 years. I went, what? And I said, can you put me in contact with this guy? And the person I was talking to said, yeah, sure. I came in contact with David. He told me come over to his house. Let's talk. I did. And that weekend coming up, he said, I'm going to be going up Bigfooting. Do you want to go with me? I said, you got to be kidding me. Because for all those out there who love this stuff, 10 years ago, if you would have told me I would be up looking for Bigfoot in the Sierra Mountains of California, I would have told you, you're out of your freaking mind. I didn't even know if Bigfoot was here this close. And then this guy, David Ragosa, pretty much brought me under his wings. And that's how I became involved in the Bigfoot investigation side. And then Danny and Alan eventually came into play later. But so I started going up with David to the spot. David has been investigating Bigfoot for 25 years and found the spot that was told to him by an elderly Native American. He says, if you want to find Sasquatch, this is the place to go, but be careful. And he started going there, and I started going up with him, and things started happening. We started getting stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you photograph number 1, or 2 actually, and go for it, Danny.
David's also a high school principal here in Fresno, California.
Yes. So,
and I don't know if he retired.
Good question. I think he's still a high school principal. I think he's in another city now, North Fresno, right? So this guy here he's actually has I want to say a bachelor's in biology or science, I think.
He has science.
Science, right? Okay.
Yeah, and I had seen him too on one of the local news channels. Did a piece on him, and I was like, "Whoa, there really are Bigfooters out here." So that was exciting, and I met you guys all through Facebook, and we arranged the Memorial Day trip on Facebook, and we all met for the first time at David's house.
Right.
That was crazy.
So
I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I'm going with. But if I come back, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, that was the first time I met Danny, and had no idea where you came from, and I guess you must have called David and met David somehow, and he invited you.
There was about 10 people that were originally planning to go, and one by one they all started dropping out.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what's going on?
You're going to go up and not come back down.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, he went up to Course Gold. Yeah, he did, and a Native American gave him a map and told him where to go. So that's how we ended up there. And we've been going to the spot ever since.
Right.
And on one of your trips, I think it probably the first trip, that's the picture we're looking at now. Right. You guys found a footprint up there.
Actually, I was not with them when we got this.
I don't know who was with them.
Yeah, I don't know who was with them, but this was taken at the spot, you guys. Okay, this was at the spot.
And you actually have a footcast of a footprint from up there, don't you?
Yes, I did. I actually found one with him, and I actually did my first casting. It was a horrible cast too, and I think I still have it in the house someplace. But it was horrible. It was it wasn't like on a dirt road per se, on a flat surface. It was in a very weeded area, dirt, and you can see the impression. You know that something very heavy stepped in it. You know it was a footprint. And I was so giddy at that time. And oh my God, because that was the first footprint I have ever seen. I was like, just almost peed in my pants. And I said, can I please cast it? And I did. And, I did it, and it came out horribly. But it was my first cast, and I still have it. But anyways. So, all right. So this one here, David gave us this photograph. This happened, I don't know when, the times, I don't know how long ago, but this is one of the photographs he took.
Before we came into the scene.
Yep. Big time.
He does take people up there, usually non-believers is what he takes.
Right.
And he's taking members of law enforcement, correctional officers, and people from the school that he works with, the school administrators and staff.
Over there either.
Hey, Alan, we can hear you, man. Can you hear us, Ellen?
You taking his meds?
Yeah, I was hearing you. Sorry, I was over on the Art Bell site looking at the pictures.
Oh.
Really not paying attention to what was being said.
Okay.
Great pictures. Great pictures.
So, all right. Continue.
So, this is a picture of kind of what David and one of his school administrators were looking at. They were at the top of the hill looking down a trail. And David had told me this story that they were looking down, and they could see something moving on one of the sides, on like the left side of the trail. And they just stood there looking at it, and then finally, whatever was there came out and stood on the trail. and they were looking at a Bigfoot. And he didn't say how far away it was, but they were both looking straight at it, and it looked at them for a couple minutes, and then it turned and went back into the bushes. And this school administrator would not say what he saw. And David's not going to argue with you. He's going to say, he'll usually, if you tell him, hey, we're going to go look for Bigfoot, he'll say, there's no such thing as Bigfoot. He always says that. There's no such thing as Bigfoot.
Right. And he's messing around.
Yeah. But the school administrator would not admit to what he saw. And at school, when people were asking, okay, did you guys find anything? So, yeah, we saw a bear. The administrator would say that they saw a bear up there.
Right.
And David said, okay, yeah, we saw a bear. And he said, if you ever say anything about it, I'll deny it. And I saw a bear up there. And it took him about 4 or 5 years before he finally told David, you know what we saw up there was no bear. He said, I know. I'm not going to argue with you. So he does take people up there. He also took a police officer from Fresno up there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were walking through a meadow, and they started to hear tree knocks in front of them. So they stopped, and then they heard a tree knock on the left side of them. And then they were looking around, couldn't see anything. And then they hear another tree knock on the right side of them. So they were being surrounded by whatever was there. And then the law enforcement officer was getting ready to pull out his gun. And he said if they would have heard one behind them, that he would have started shooting because they would be surrounded. And he was thinking more along the lines of maybe it was a grower that was out there, because you don't get cell reception up there for most cell companies. And if you use a walkie-talkie, the range is going to be short.
Right.
And make a lot of noise. So that he's thinking that maybe they are communicating by knocking on the trees. But they didn't see anything that day, but that was really a spooky time for them because something was all around them and they couldn't see what it was.
Right.
And then he also took another guy. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but I'll say his first name is Bill.
Bill.
And they planned for a 3-day weekend up there, just the two of them. And about half an hour into them getting there and setting up camp, Bill started to wander off, and David told him not to go too far, because he wasn't armed. He said, there's something up here, so don't go too far away. There's bears and lions and something else. So Bill said, okay, I'm fine. I'll just stay right here around camp. But he ended up walking up a little hill that's just to the south of camp. And he heard some crackies looking down on the road for footprints and looking around, and he heard a crack come from the tree in front of him. So he looked up, and there was a face crouched behind the tree staring at him about 10 feet away. And he couldn't believe what he was seeing, and he's just staring up at it. And as he was staring up at it, the thing stood up, and he could see the massive size. He said probably about 7 or 8 feet tall. And this thing just looked at him and took a step backwards, and then took off running. And he said it dropped down to all fours and took off into the forest. And Bill stood there for a couple seconds, didn't know what to think, scared out of his mind. And he went back and he told David he couldn't talk. He was just white as a ghost. David knew something was wrong. David knew he needed to get him out of there. So their 3-day hunting trip lasted less than an hour.
Right.
And then he had to come back down the hill. And I don't think he's ever been up there since.
No, I remember David said when Bill came around the corner, he was so white, he was so pale, like she was in shock, basically. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I think we were talking about this before we went on the air, David had a friend that they went in and spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on nice game cameras. And I think it was Bill Compton, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Bill.
Right. And they've been putting this stuff up all over the place. And Bill pretty much said, "That's it, I'm done. Take me home. That's it, I'm done."
He hasn't been up. He hunts for other things now, but not for Bigfoot.
So he basically gave all the cameras to David, said, "I'm done. They're real. I'm done." And that's it. He has never been up there again. Yeah. Whatever he saw.
He got his proof.
Yeah.
That's all he needed.
Absolutely. And that was the end of the Sasquatch hunting for him, because he knows now. He knows that they are real. Whatever he saw scared him almost to death, because the way David said, he was so pale, he was so in shock that
he was worried for him, so they got him back down the hill.
Right.
There's no help up there.
No, there isn't. So he got. Yeah, he said that was it. He had to take him out of there really fast. So. Yeah, I don't know what and for everybody, I've never seen one. Okay, Danny has never seen one. Alan has, and I don't know what will happen when I see one.
I do.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I think I will be.
Alan's seen one.
Yeah, Alan's seen one. But I think I will be very excited, though. That I don't think I will freak. I don't think I will poop in my pants. I think I will just be so excited that I finally have seen one, because it's I've been doing this for a while. And we've gotten everything else, sounds, screams, footprints, them walking around our campsite, leaving keys on trucks, stuff like that. And I think next will be, I have to see one. There has to be I know it's soon. I know it's going to be soon. Especially,
you should be used to us by now.
Yeah, especially that now we have a couple of places that we can go. So.
Just remember, like, after I saw one, I was like that cop, and I was armed to the teeth. I was actually loaded for bear. When they say loaded for bear, I really was loaded for bear. I was going to shoot a bear, so I had a 300 Magnum rifle and pack-in pistols. And when I saw it, I didn't go to the mountains again for 6 years. That was it. I was done going out of I couldn't believe that I was sharing the woods with that.
Right.
That's scary. I mean, that thing was huge, and I realized right then, any time that it wanted to, the whole time that I'd been up there, any time, it didn't matter if I was in a car or out of a car, it could have got me, because it was that big and that fast and that. I mean, he could have ripped the door off and yanked me right out of a car before you could react. I mean, that's how fast and agile and big this thing was. And I understand completely if the cop saw it and went home. And I heard he's not a little cop. He's like 6'4" or something. And I grew up with cops too, so they're not really afraid of anything. And if that guy went home and never went back, I get it. I really do.
That's a good thing. David takes people up there that want to go, and
right.
That's how we got to go up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Picture 4 and 5 are a video that David took. He's probably about 1,000 yards away.
Chat, you'll try to take selfies with it, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to talk over Danny, so I don't hear him. So
no, you're right.
I'm gonna try to,
yeah, no, you're right. And Danny sent over some links to some videos. Is that correct, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay, and they are on the artbell.com website right now. And I'm not going to play any videos.
I don't know if they are.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know. He put them on, but if they're not there, we'll put them on the Paranormal Central page.
Okay.
Because he had a lot to do.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, for all those who are listening and watching us right now, if you have not liked our Paranormal Central page on Facebook, I would suggest you do so, because Danny and us, we will put on there some stuff that happened to us a long time ago that you've probably never seen, like those links, and he's going to blow you away. We're going to blow you away. Simple as that. Okay, I got the picture up right now with just the road and the trees on both sides. Number 2.
Yeah, that was the one I was just talking about. The next one shows the Bigfoot on the side of the mountain.
Okay, let's
go. 4 and 5.
All right, let's go with 4.
So if you don't know what you're looking
at, see that picture, the one with the road?
Right.
Like if you're walking down that road and it decided, and you don't know where it is, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not letting you know that it's like only 2 feet away from you. So you're just walking along. As soon as you walk past it, it could jump out and pop your head off. I mean, those are the kind of things I think of when I walk down the road like that. Even if I'm with a whole crowd of people, it doesn't matter. Well, missing 411, just get a little bit ahead or a little bit too far behind, you're gone.
Well, and you have really a lot to worry about because you're walking with the cane.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so...
because I'm the weak one, animals go for the weak, and they see, by my movement that I'm weak. Right. I know they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's why we bring you along.
Right, yeah, you only have to outrun me. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
I know, I'm chicken shit. Okay.
But I just want to, now, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, so now I want to keep going.
Right.
You know, I'm ready to have another scare the out of me. Trip.
It almost sounded like you're ready to die. You don't care.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
You know, if your wife is there, she's gonna kick your ass for saying that.
No, I say it to her still. You know, I'm kind of lucky. I did a bunch of stuff already because now I'm not. You know, if I was worried about my life, I would stay home for sure.
Right. Okay, so David took this at a long distance. This is actually a video. Is that correct, Danny?
Yeah, it's. I don't know how long the video lasts, but Alan did stabilize it and shorten it. If you don't know what you're looking at, it kind of looks like a cave entrance, but that's actually something standing there. And when you see it on the video, you kind of see the fur on it.
Right. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one, which is the close-up one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And go ahead and describe everybody what we're looking at here.
It's just the mountainside, and David is on the opposite mountain, probably about 1,000 yards away, he said.
Right.
And he's trying to zoom in, and when everybody knows that when you zoom in, the camera shakes a lot because
Sure.
it has a little center, and it's windy, and you can hear the wind blowing and all that stuff. But
Right.
It's something that's leaned up against a rock, and you can't tell what it's doing. David thought that it might be facing him, but you can't really see a face or anything.
It looks like, by the way, it's bending. I don't want to say bending, slouching over maybe toward the rocks. And you can see, well, I can see a lot of people who don't believe are not going to see this, but I see the shoulders right there and the head back there, like it's sort of looking in. And David said, I think it noticed or it knew that David and them were watching him, so he kind of like froze. I think.
Yeah, that's what they do when they see somebody, they just freeze and they don't move.
Right.
And then if they see you turn away, that's when they make their escape.
Okay.
But I think he did see this moving to that place before he started filming, because it comes in the middle.
Right. Cool. All right, let's go to the next one.
I actually think that one's a female because of the bigger hips.
Okay. All right, we got the number 6 up, Mr. Danny.
And this is another video that he shot. He took us to the place where he shot this video, and that's what the area that he calls Area B. And he showed us the spot and the trail that he took. He knows all these hills and valleys by the back of his hand.
Yes, he does.
And we didn't think that we were on a trail because there was so much brush and everything that we were going through. And we still followed him, and he took us right to the spot where he filmed this video. And there is nothing on that rock right where he shot this video. But you can see a dark figure sitting on that rock.
Now,
under a tree there.
People, I don't know who said this, but they were saying that it's holding something, and I don't know if you can see the.
Yeah, they thought there was a smaller one.
Like
it was nursing, probably.
Right. Yeah, because like here's the head, and here, right here, you can see that the coloration is different. It's a little lighter in color. But it's right there, so I don't know if you can see that though. But anyways,
there's like a little white area by the mouth.
Right, and for all those who say, well, how come there has never been a real good picture of a photo or a video or a photograph of a Bigfoot? And these things are smart, intelligent creatures. All right, if they see you from a long distance away, they're going to go walk the opposite direction from you. You're only going to probably see them for just a bit. And if you do get to see them like David saw this one, it was from a long distance. This wasn't like, 10, 20, 30 feet away. I think it was like, how far do you think David was?
About 34 yards. In the video, you can see him zooming in. You can see how far away he was, and then he's zooming in towards it.
Right.
Because he can see it up there. But,
he said that one sat down and froze too.
Now,
so they'll just wait for you to look away, and they're gone.
Now, this video here, Alan or Danny, where is it?
At the spot.
No, I mean the video. Do we have a video of this right now somewhere? I know.
Yeah,
I'll put it up
on our. It's on our Paranormal Central YouTube.
Okay, so
and it's really short. Cause
yeah.
There's a lot of video that doesn't have anything in it, and it's real shaky and everything. So we just edit out just the Bigfoot part of the video, and he only got a few seconds.
Right.
You know, that's all. And then they wanted to get closer. That was he told me that was 300 yards. The Bigfoot was walking. They saw it, and he was describing to the guy what, you know, Bigfoot looked like, and he goes, "It looks just like that." And then the thing sat down and froze. And he took a little bit of video, zoomed in, and then he tried to get a better position. As soon as he got in the clear where he could see it again, it was gone.
Right.
And, you know, he didn't see it again. And that's how it always goes. You know, it's like they're elusive.
They know when they know when you're looking right at them, they freeze. And they know when you are not looking at them. If you go to step to a different location and your eyes are now no longer looking at them, they know that, and boom, they're gone. And then by the time you pick up your head and look towards that area, where do they go? Where did he go? Well, they're smart. They're smart enough to do that.
And you don't hear them.
Right.
They're completely quiet. Completely. And what's
they want you to
weird
hear.
is it could be 2 o'clock in the morning, no moon, and it could be 20 feet from you and not make a noise.
Just like
At all.
Right, just like Kathy Strain when she was telling us a story when we shot for the TV episode. You know, there was 2 dark objects laying behind some bushes that she thought were logs, and she, you know, looked over and she thought that one had stopped and, you know, dove underneath some bushes, and when she went to go look, she saw 2 logs, 2 brown logs, and so she go, well, where did it go? So she went back. And she told her husband, well, there's nothing back there but 2 logs. And the husband went back to the same spot, and he came back, and there's no logs there. Well, those logs were not logs. They were actually Bigfoot playing dead is what they were doing. So that's, you know, they're smart, man. These guys are smart. All right, let's go to the next one.
David will try to get the video, too, but he's very respectful of these creatures. He doesn't want to bother them or harm them or anything. So he'll videotape real quick, and then he'll get out of there.
Right. He knows. He doesn't have to.
He's not trying to prove it to you guys or anybody else.
Right, because he knows they're real.
He's seen them many times.
Right, he knows they're real. Right.
He always says they're not real, though.
Yeah.
It's funny.
He doesn't want to get in an argument with them. He's not trying to prove it to you. He's not trying to convince
No
you.
such thing.
It's just for him.
All right. This next one is it looks like a snapshot. It's not a really good one. You want me to skip this one or?
Doesn't matter. It's standing there.
Right.
And the next one will have the red outline so you can see it.
Okay. This one's a better shot. There
There's
it is.
trail cam pictures from David's camera from 2009.
Okay. Now let me tell everybody how this. I was there when we got this photograph on a game camera. I was there when we placed the game cameras with David. And it was like with somebody else, somebody from work. It was like us 3. We went and I helped him place. When I say help, I was with him. He placed all the cameras at different locations at the spot. We went home. I think 3 weeks, a month later, he called me. He says, Jeff, I'm going to be going up to the spot to go and get those cameras. You want to go? I said, heck yeah. So he picked me up. We went, just him and I. He drove. And we started. I took my laptop computer with me, okay? And he started to go to each camera, and he got the SIM card out, SD card, and he put them in my laptop, and he downloaded the photographs, and he went through them really quick. I don't remember, there was like 3 or 4 cameras that we retrieved. And he went through them really quick on my laptop. We didn't see anything. And so all the pictures were saved on my laptop, and he took the SD cards home. That night, right around 7 o'clock, he calls me on my phone. He says, Jeff, he goes, you still have all the pictures on your laptop? And I said, yeah. He says, do me a favor, go to this particular card and go to picture, I think it was said number 50. And I will always remember that day, that time. I was watching 2.5 Men. My wife was sitting on the couch over there. And I brought the laptop. I had him on the phone, and I scrolled to it. And do you have the photograph of the original picture here? Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's the last one.
Okay. Here is the original photograph, you guys. All right. And I brought this up, and he goes, do you see it? And I said, see what, David? And he said, look at the top left-hand corner. Now, this one here, let me see if I can bring this down. There you go. He goes, top left-hand corner. Do you see it? And I said, I don't see anything. Because at the time, I don't know what a Bigfoot looks like. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. But here it is right here. Now, this camera that took this photograph was, 7,500 yards. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we went back, but anyways, there it is right there. Now, how in the hell did this camera that far away take this photograph? Because obviously, for all those who don't know what a game camera is, in order for it to take a picture, you have to, you have to activate the motion sensor on it. Okay. Well, what happened is, just by luck, just by the grace of God, luck. There was a lot of weeds here in the front, and it was very windy the time this photograph was taken, and the camera took a lot of photographs of absolutely nothing. Why? Because of the movement of the weeds and the branches activated the camera. And it so happens that when it was taking photographs during that windy time, it took a picture, and this thing was walking up a hill up in the top left-hand corner. This is the original photograph, you guys. All right? So when you zoom into it, that's what you get. You get
hands.
That. Okay. And what we did is we ran, I had at the time, my website designer way back then in 2007, I had him put a line around the object. Okay. You can see the freaking mitts on this thing. You see that? Okay, well, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer, but do you see the digits on that thing? Right there? Looked like a freaking baseball glove. That's what that is right there. All right. Now, I was freaking out. I mean, I was totally freaking out. Because this was at that time was incredible. I mean, look what we got, and I didn't know what to think about this. I said, okay, is somebody playing a trick on me? Is David playing a trick on me? Would he go back up and put a suit on and go to this spot? But think about this: the distance from the camera to this object. How would you activate it if you were trying to hoax it and trying to hoax me? There's no way you could activate the camera from that far of a distance. There's no way. And also the height of this thing. All right. Now, did you put in a photograph of me walking in the spot by any chance?
Yeah, you're 9.
Number 9. Okay, let's go to.
That didn't set the camera off. It's too far.
Right.
The wind blew a piece of grass or something, moved, and set it off. A bird flew by or something. That didn't set it off. And he knew the camera was there. Otherwise, he would have been closer to it.
Right. Okay, now this photograph. Now, what happened is I told David, okay, David, I need to go back with my team and go to the exact same spot and to see if this thing is not there. Because, as far as we know, this thing could be a shadow. This thing could be an actual tree that looks like a Bigfoot. It could be anything. So I took the team. It was Emerald. It was Cheryl, my wife. It was David. It was myself. And I think one more person. I just don't remember who it was at the time. But we went back up, and I am standing in the same spot where this thing was walking up a hill. Now, I'm going to go back to that same picture right now. But you see these leaves right here? Okay, its head was up here where I'm circling. Now, the angle is totally different. Cheryl took this photograph at a different angle that the camera was. But I'm 6'2". I measured it. I took a measuring tape with me, and I put it all the way up here, and this thing was around 10 feet, little taller than 10 feet tall. Okay, guys? It wasn't now, people were going, well, it was a bear rubbing its ass on a tree. Well, where I'm at right there, guys, if you were to walk right in front of me and stand right in front of me, behind me, there is no tree. Just because you are looking at me at this angle, you have trees in front on the side of me. Basically, that's what you're looking at, right? There is nothing behind me. This thing was walking up a hill. It wasn't a bear rubbing its ass on a tree because there's not a tree there. All right, so see these branches and leaves right here? All right, I'm going to go back to this. There's those trees and branches right there I'm showing you right now. Okay? My head, I know what you guys are thinking. Nonsense. This is absolutely freaking nonsense. I don't know what to tell you. All I'm telling you.
If that was a bear, okay, first of all, we don't even have bears that tall here.
No.
I mean, we have a video of a bear that we messed with just only a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And if it stood up, it was maybe as tall as you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we even have it standing up, I think. Pictures of it in the back of the truck.
Right.
Where it was standing up and holding the tailgate.
Right.
I mean, it was no taller than you.
Right.
If that was a bear right there, that one came from Alaska or something.
Right.
You know, and we don't have that.
And this thing that's standing in that spot, I like I said, it was around 10 to 11 foot tall, guys. I swear to God. All right, and I'm a God fearful guy here, and I'm telling you guys the truth. There's no way, even if someone was trying to play a hoax, but you have to understand that the only people who know, this is not a campground. This is in the middle of freaking nowhere. And, you know, for somebody to say that, okay, somebody's playing a trick on you. Well, somebody who is 10 to 11 foot tall, they needed to find somebody that big, that tall, and to find a Bigfoot costume that big, that tall, that's going to cost a lot of freaking money to make, to pull a joke like this on us, which I know didn't happen. Okay, I mean, we tried debunking this. I, as an investigator, tried debunking this. I could not. Like,
I can barely walk on that side of the hill.
Right.
I'm serious. With a cane and everything, I could barely walk it. Most of the time, I only go a little ways, and you guys do all the rest, and I stand off and watch.
Right, because you can't.
The hill is actually steep, but you can't tell right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty deceiving picture.
Right.
A steep drop down.
Right. So for those people who are watching right now, this picture came out in 2007. David and I actually... 2009. No.
Yeah.
2009? Really?
Yeah, that's what the picture said on them.
Okay. We were invited to go on Coast to Coast at that time, and we talked with George Norrie. And there is a episode with both of us on there. Even George Norrie sees it. George Norrie goes, I see it. There he is. You got him. You know, we were on there for a while, explaining to everybody what we got. You know, it was funny that David warned me. I go, David, can I please put this on the Sanger Paranormal's website? And he says, okay, but be careful because you're going to get slammed. And I mean, what do you mean? You're going to get slammed. And I had no clue what he was talking about. So I put a lot of pictures on there, and sure enough, I got slammed. People were saying that was a shadow. People were saying it was a bear. People were saying it was a tree. And that's all I got. People were just totally denying what we got. And it was incredible. I felt so just like a bully, like I was being bullied by all of the Bigfoot community out there. Everybody was just knocking me down for putting this picture up. I mean, there are people that I can tell you. I mean, I can name some names right now, but I don't want to because this was a long time ago. And matter of fact, several of those people are no longer in the Bigfoot business, and I haven't heard from them in years. This is incredible, you guys. This is the stuff that we are getting at the secret spot that David found a long time ago. All right. Okay. So let's
from the camera to that tree. There's nothing there. It's all complete sunlight. But from where that tree starts, there's a bunch of trees behind it. So there's like a canopy that's hiding under. So it's not completely out in the sunlight.
Right.
It's undercover.
Right. There's a bunch of, and we'll go back to the picture where and again, you know, what we're showing you right now is just a couple of photographs that we've taken. We're not showing you all of them. Minimize. Let's go here. There are leaves. There's branches there. Trust me when I say this thing was walking up a hill and it was standing right there where I'm standing. All right, you guys. If you don't believe me, so be it. You don't believe me. That's fine. But I know what we got. I was there. I tried to debunk it. And there's no way it could be a freaking 10-foot long, tall bear, or a person in a freaking suit in the middle of nowhere. All right. So I don't know what to tell you guys. This picture has been out there for a long time. We are bringing it back out because there are a lot of listeners now and a lot of watchers who are new to this program that we have to tell you, I am just not a talk show host. And Alan is not either, and David isn't, and so is Danny. We go out in the field and we spend weekends at a time for a while looking for him, it, them. And this is the stuff that we're getting. We are very lucky. I am very lucky to have found David. Because without David, I would not be talking about Bigfoot right now. Okay, I owe it all to David Ragosa. And I'm honest about that. All right? I am here because of the Bigfoot situation, because of David. It's as simple as that. So, all right.
It's interesting to note too
about. What's cool about right now what you're doing. We have all this stuff that over the last 6 years or something like that we put. We have pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff, right? And only we brought it out as we get it. You know what I mean? And we talk about it and everything. And we haven't really went backwards at all.
No, we haven't.
And we haven't ever put it all in one place at one spot at one time. This is going to be kind of cool because you can actually, or the audience can actually go and look at where the start of everything was for us, really, and then see where we're at today. And what we've been bringing all along, really.
Right. And I just want to say I'm actually all three of us, Danny, Alan, and I, are extremely lucky to be what we're at right now. I mean we are living a childhood fantasy. I am.
Yeah, that's for sure. I
am. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but are you kidding me? We're looking for freaking monsters, and we found them. We found them. I mean, come on. How many can actually say, oh yeah, we are actually, I don't want to say hunters, but we go out looking for freaking monsters and look at what we found? Are you shitting me?
It's interesting to note on that picture too is that thing's walking uphill.
So cool.
Yes. And it's walking right towards the camp.
Yeah, sure is.
So he's probably checking out what we did after you left.
Probably. But if I do ever come in contact with something like this who's over 10 feet tall, I will probably, I don't know. I will probably be like Bill Compton. Oops, sorry, I meant his last name. And probably turn white and probably pee in my pants, but with anxiety, I would be so excited. And I probably won't take a photograph or a video because I probably will be equipped with all the equipment. But this is what happens, you guys. When somebody comes in and confronts a creature like this, they're stunned. They are absolutely stunned. And by the time you know it, they're looking at this thing to verify what they actually saw. And by the time you get your camera, you zoom in, you turn on your video camera, the thing is gone. And that's why, or you try to take a photograph and it gets blurry, that's where the blob squatches come into play, because this thing is so now far away or running, and that's why there are no clear photographs of a Bigfoot, because you're not prepared to see this. You're not. Okay.
That's what's cool about David. He actually did it twice. I mean, he didn't get a lot of time, frames or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But he actually got two different Bigfoot on video, and because really he wasn't prepared. He wasn't thinking he was seeing that yet. He didn't realize that he was videotaping a Bigfoot till he actually was videotaping it.
Right.
Just something moved over there, and then they started videotaping. And so he lucked out. If he would have seen like a Bigfoot, he probably would have fumbled around and got nothing.
Okay. He was also in Area B2, and he saw one walking through the lower trees below him. He was sitting on a rock, and he never got
Jeffrey's dad is calling. Oh, that's funny.
So, all right, let's go to the next one.
Picture 11 is the base camp for that Memorial Day weekend, 2011. So that's our first picture of Alan.
Look at that afro. That's funny. So this is base camp. This is the spot, you guys. This is the spot that
there were only 6 of us that weekend.
So this was the window weekend.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, Danny is the one taking the photograph. There is Dresden back here, his son, and that's Joe Walls.
Yeah, Joe Walls.
Joe Walls, and there's Alan and Danny, David. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know.
You're hiding.
Yeah, I'm hiding. I don't know where I'm at this time. So, and obviously you can see that we covered all my electronics, and I think Danny actually put up a photograph.
And the next picture is all your electronics, and that's probably where you were setting everything up.
I'm the electronics fool of the group. Geek. There you go. For those who don't know, I have a degree in electronics. I work for the phone company. I'm gadget man. I have, video cameras, everything that I run with 12-volt DC, DVR, the cameras, everything. And when we go up, and depending if we want to go fully surveillance, then I'll do it. Sometimes we just put up the motions because we believe now that they can see in the IR field. And these cameras are infrared. They have the IR LEDs on them. And from what I understand now, people say that they can see that at nighttime. So if they see a bright light coming from the camp pointing towards them, more likely they probably won't go, towards the camp. And
we tested that too with you had a monocular and I had one of those night vision cameras too, and we could see our streams.
Right. Like lasers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could see the light that it was shooting out. It's only through the camera. We couldn't see it with our own eyes.
So
it looked like we were crossing. We had like lightsabers that kind of looked like.
Right.
So he can probably see that.
Right. So depending on the situation, nowadays I don't put up these equipments anymore. I really don't take all that. All I do is take the motion sensors with us, and we take up the motion game cameras because those don't give out any type of light, night light on IR. They only are set off with if you walk in front of it. Then obviously click, it'll give a bright flash in the nighttime infrared. So that's probably going to be the best way you're going to be able to find something is using those game cameras. So this was back when I really didn't know much. And I brought everything. Oh my God, it took me hours to set up everything. It was crazy. I ran the wire everywhere, cameras, north, south, east, to west of the campsite. And
you still bring everything?
Yeah, I kind of do. I'm still a geek. I know. All right, let's go to the next one.
13 is the greasy face on the window.
Oh, yes. For all those who don't know, we were on an episode of Monsters and Mysteries. And go ahead, Danny, go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, this is after we got rained out in the middle of the night. It started raining, and then we thought about leaving when it started to rain because we knew the roads would get muddy. And then we thought if somebody got stuck, we wouldn't be able to help them because it would be too dark. So we decided to wait it out and just try to leave early in the morning. And when we got there, when we woke up in the morning, it started to hail, and then the hail turned to sleet, and then it started snowing. So we had to get out of there, and Jeff couldn't get his truck started. I mean, it could get started, but he tried to say he's going to drive it out of there, and David told him, nope, not unless you have four-wheel drive. You said, watch me, and all you did was spin your tires.
Yep.
You weren't going nowhere.
Nope, I wasn't.
So, and then David couldn't get his truck started because he when we first came in, we hit a giant pothole, and when we did, it slammed down so hard that all the lights on his dash went on, loosened something in his car, and his battery was dead.
Right.
So all we had was Joe Walls' red pickup that holds 4 people, and we had to get 6 people in there. And, mud everywhere, and the heavy load in the truck. We weren't going very fast getting out of there.
Right. It took us a long time to get out of there because we had to stop and put, old firewood and branches and stuff with these puddles because they were like deep, and it took us a couple hours to get out.
Yep. I didn't think we were going to get out. It was crazy.
Yes, it was. All right, let's go.
But you guys had to go back and retrieve the trucks a couple days later.
Right. That's a whole story in itself. I mean, this is probably an hour. We could talk about this particular trip for a whole hour, because a lot happened with the trees and the tree limbs and all that. So, I don't know how to even. I mean, I don't want to talk about this whole story right now because it's just way too long. Monsters and Mysteries sort of kind of did a great job on it. They left out the most important, I think, impression, and that was on the front window. And that is right here. There was a set of lips and nostrils and a handprint, knuckle print actually, that they did not show you on Monsters and Mysteries. Why, I don't know. But anyways, all right, let's go to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, that's you sitting up on that mountain overlooking the valley.
That's me.
And that's the area that we go to. It's a lot of land to cover.
Yep.
So you can get lost in there, or something that doesn't want to be found can hide easily.
A lot of area. All right, let's go to the next one. And
15 is the log in the road. That's just one of the logs.
Right. So go ahead and fill everybody in.
Yeah, that's a log. It doesn't look that heavy. I tried to lift it. I thought, no, I can lift this one out of the way. It wouldn't even move. That thing's like over 1,000 pounds. It took 3 people to move it out of the road, and you can kind of see them on there, little branches. So you just can't roll it out of the way because those branches are preventing it from rolling. And you can see there that the road's not all tore up from moving it there.
Right.
Somebody actually lifted it or threw it there, over 1,000 pounds. And when 3 of you guys tried to move it out of the way, you had to kick it with your feet, and you pretty much tore up the road getting it.
Right.
So where it was.
So when we went back to retrieve our vehicles from that weekend, this is the road that we left, and when we came back on the same road, there was some barricades now in this particular road, 4 of them. This was the last barricade, number 4. The other ones were old cut trees that were just dried out, that were placed in the road. They did not fall. Something placed them there. And, it didn't make sense when we came back. Why?
The only truck marks were the ones that we left when we left.
Right. There was no disturbance around this areas where these things were placed in the middle of the road. Something, I'm going to say pretty much say right now, it wasn't someone. It was something lifted this tree and placed it right in the middle of the road. It did not. You can't roll it. This thing where it was sitting was to the left-hand side. If you can see this area over here, there's an indentation where it was actually, sitting for years, and going this way to the right is uphill. So nobody rolled it uphill. Something lifted it and placed it right in the middle. Now again, I didn't know at the time what Bigfoots actually do when you are in their area, and you can Google this, but apparently if they don't want you in that area, or they're trying to keep people out, they will put barricades like this in the road as a signal. Don't come back.
And that does happen. You have stories with that happening.
Right. So
the next picture is you and your son measuring the log.
Yeah. This was like a couple of years ago, and we just decided to go looking. We went up there, and we've never really taken a measurement, and we decided to take a measurement, and it was 13 feet, I think,
something like that.
Something like that, and the circumference, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's like 13, 14 inches, I think, and so we just this is where it was.
I think it couldn't do it either.
Oh heck no, there's no way.
No. I couldn't even move it or roll it. Nothing.
No. I remember that the day we arrived, I got down on my knees to try pushing it, and all the guys started laughing at me. They go, "What are you doing?" I'm going, "Well, I'm trying to push it." You're not going to push that thing. And like you said, 2 or 3, 4, I don't remember. Got on our knees and pushed, and we were all huffing and puffing, and in the process of pushing it out of the way to this where it's at now, we disrupted the dirt at the time because it was all muddy and wet. And you can see where it took us to, with leverage with our feet, to mess up the dirt. But when we found it there was no disruption of the dirt. exactly. So, okay. So let's go to the next one.
17 is just you guys plotting your next move.
Okay. There's David. And you see that little pistol that Mr. David takes with him? Everybody is armed, you guys. Because, this is the forest. Animals live in the forest. You have bobcats, you have cougars, mountain lions, you have bears, all right? And from what we have heard, you know, Bigfoots are not the kindest, sweetest creatures out there. And you have to be careful. So we do not go up there unarmed. I'm telling you that right now. All right.
I'm armed with my camera.
Yeah. And
next one is the DNA testing that you did on the windows after you took them off.
Off the windows. And a lot of people don't know that I did take off the windows. Oh, yeah, I sure did. Spent between $300 and $400 to do it on both windows. And I still have those windows to this day, you guys, with the impressions still on them. What? Yes, I sure do. Okay.
And picture 19 is the DNA markers. Once they test them and they put them in their liquid, it's kind of hard to see them, but they're in there. And then picture 20 are the results that the scientists gave you.
And I don't know how to read this, but okay, when we took the DNA to get tested on this thing, let me tell you who tested it first. David, Ragosa, and Alan. At the time, Alan was working with Animal Planet people, and they were up here in the Sierras doing an episode for Finding Bigfoot. So let's go to that picture. You have a picture of David, right? Yeah, the next one.
The next one's
okay.
David on Finding Bigfoot.
So David was on Finding Bigfoot, and he was telling them one of their stories. And I love how Alan tells this. And as a matter of fact, I want Alan to say. So anyways, Alan was out there cold freezing, and because Alan was at the time was hired by them to take them around and show them stuff and get permits and all this kind of stuff. Now, after David did his episode with them there, the Bigfoot crew, Finding Bigfoot crew, knew something about the windows, but did not know anything about a lot about the windows. So, explain, Alan, to everybody listening what happened afterwards.
Of when they decided they're gonna
interrogate you.
They decide they're gonna do a segment on the windows. Is that
right?
Yes, yeah. Like they waited. We worked about, I think, 2 weeks. And we're riding around, and we went everywhere. We went to the Thule Reservation and everything. And we finally, on I think the second to last day, they came to me in the morning and told me, that I was going to be. They decided to have me on the show also, like the segment of the windows that they heard about. And I hadn't talked to them about the windows at all. They haven't asked me about the windows. We're strictly running on a schedule that the producer already set up probably a month ago. You know what I mean? Like the windows weren't in it, and I wasn't talking about it. But finally, we go out to another shoot, and it was snowing, and it was really snowing hard. We thought we were going to be stuck, and we do the windows, and then so Cliff Barackman, what was his problem with the windows was on some of the pictures we have, it shows 4 finger knuckle prints, like the fingernails and knuckles, and then it has down like 7 or 8 inches lower on the door. The knuckles are actually in the window, and then on the door, the thumbprint is way down, and it actually has an opposing thumb, and there's actually 2 of them. That was what. You could take the windows off, but all the windows had was the knuckle, like the fingers, and the thumbprint was down on the door. So, but only it also had like the hand print in between the knuckles and the thumb actually pushed against the window. And he was saying it was a paw, and we're telling him, man, even if it was a paw, it was huge. but really it wasn't. You could tell it was actually fingers curled, and then the thumbprint, and then the palm was touching the door. So he proceeded to show that he couldn't do that. He put cream on his hands, and he pushed it, where he physically couldn't do that. So if he couldn't do it, a Bigfoot couldn't do it. Okay, and then there's the back window, and that's the one they like the most because it was safety glass or privacy glass. So the Bigfoot, the theory was the front window, it was regular glass, so all you got was the nose and the lips. It didn't have to press its whole face up to see inside the truck. In the back window, it was privacy glass, so it doesn't know to shield its eyes and, to look inside past the glass. It actually put its whole face and everything in its eye all the way up to the window, and its chest and everything. Well, then, he was saying it wasn't a Bigfoot, it was a bear smear, right? And the bear did it, smearing stuff around. So then he put this baby lotion stuff all over the side of his face, and then he pressed it up against the privacy glass on the truck that we were in for the shoot. And when he pulled back, it was a actual mini. It was almost identical to what was on the back of the truck, but only it was like a mini-me kind of thing, right? Real little.
Right.
And everybody at first was like agreeing with him, that, this is a bear smear and this and that. And everybody was on his side, and there was all this chatter and everything going on. But then when he pulled back and we all looked at it, it got quiet, real quiet. Because everybody knew that we were looking at, we're on the laptop, they have a picture of the Bigfoot face print on the back window, and here was another print that looked almost identical to that, but very miniature, small, compared to what was on the window.
Right.
It showed where the eye socket was, and the cheek, and the eyebrow, and oh my God, it was almost the same. That was when the shoot was over. We were completely done, load everything up. Nothing else was said. And I was actually waiting for that to show up when the show came out. I wanted to see that part,
Right.
But all they showed was the knuckles, and they absolutely cut out that part where they didn't want to show that they found Bigfoot, really, I guess. I don't know. We found him, right?
Sure, we did.
We found him. We found him. And they didn't want to show that because then they found him, and I guess the show would be over. So they didn't show that part. Now,
the way you described to me when they pulled you aside and said, okay, let's go ahead and talk about these windows. And I love it the way you were telling it, about the trees and all that, because they didn't know anything about that, right?
No, they didn't know anything.
They didn't know absolutely nothing. I guess you were saying that the directors or the producers told them it was a bear. So they just left it at that and said, because they heard about the impressions on the windows from the Sanger Paranormal Society's truck. And they just said, producers and the directors said, it's the bear. Let it go. It's a bear. Now, when they pulled you aside and says, all right, tell us about these windows, describe and don't leave anything out, what they told you and what you told them.
Well, I think the director and the producer actually are the ones that looked into it for them, because they don't have time, a lot of time.
Right.
And, and I found them to be, pretty knowledgeable about Bigfoot, really, and passionate about it, too, as much as we are, easily. But when I started talking to them, then they started realize, I think that's when it was, dawning on them that it couldn't have been a bear. You know what I mean? When I started telling them about the barriers and how 3 of them were a 12-year-old or a kid, even your kid at that age, he was 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
Or he could have moved 3 of the barriers all by himself. You know what I mean? Almost like a baby Bigfoot did it, after they saw the daddy one pick up a telephone pole and set it in the middle of the road. You know what I mean? Then, and they were going, oh my God, Bigfoot does that. It does put barriers and it doesn't want you there, And then when I started telling them about the the 4 ice chests in the back of the truck with fried chicken, and we barbecued tri-tip the night before, and all that was inside the ice chest. And now with the bear, we had a long discussion about that. Like, would the bear pass up the ice chest? And now we have to understand we're not far from a national park, and bears roam like 50 miles or something like that. You know, we're within 50 miles of a national park. All national park bears know what ice chest is. And any bear that is in the area where we're at is going to know an ice chest by looking at it. You know what I mean? Not just by smell, but that they could smell this one from 5 miles easy, or the 4 of them. That they were not even touched.
Nope.
And if they were, this was even pointed out by one of them, I think Cliff. You know, it might have opened it up and picked something out of it, and then closed it again. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, because we didn't. Yeah, because we didn't itemize any of the stuff before we left. Because we were running.
Yeah, we didn't know to.
No,
you know, we didn't think. Yeah, had no idea.
Right.
In fact, we were just wanting to get out of there, right? And that's what I was telling them. You know, we were just wanting out. You know, so it was interesting. I think that afterwards they realized that we really did capture Bigfoot stuff, but only. The editing part isn't up to them.
Right.
It's up to the guys that actually told them it was a bear in the first place.
Right. Well, I mean, explain to him though, you know, what happened when I made the phone call and what I did with the windows, all that, because they did not know that. Explain to everybody that.
Oh, you mean when we told them we took them to the DNA and everything?
Well, no. I mean, 'cause I remember you said, okay, this is how you described it. You said, they said, okay, tell us about these windows, and you know, you described to them, and they were filming, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, they were filming.
Yeah, I told them the whole story, and they were like, oh my God, you know, they hadn't heard any of what I was telling them.
Right, they didn't know. They didn't know about the barricades on the road. They didn't know that I called Mickey Burl, the CSI guy for Fresno PD, and they were freaking out over that. They didn't know that I took the windows off. And apparently they were very upset after they heard all that, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, especially like when I told them about Mickey Burrow, I mean, you should have seen the look on their face. I mean, these people started looking at their producers and stuff and like, you know, like, we believed you, what you were telling us, and listen to what this guy is saying. Like, oh, my God, you know.
Right.
Like, this is a story of the century, and you guys made it out to be a bear. You know, they should have read it themselves, because I told them that Mickey actually, when I started telling him how he compared the window print to the animals that live in the woods there, and then actually to one that's in the zoo, and that's the one it matched, not the ones that live in the area.
A gorilla's face.
Yeah, and it made Mickey, you know, and Mickey told me, hey, you know, I believe in Bigfoot now based on evidence, because I put people in jail with evidence.
Right.
You know, that's my life is evidence, and you just brought me evidence that changed what I think about Bigfoot. I didn't believe in it. Now I do.
Right. Just
based on the evidence, you know, and they were looking at me like, oh my God, you know, like that would really be like, I could see that they wanted, if they would have known all that, a lot of what we shot that whole week probably wouldn't have been what we were shooting.
Right, right. And then
we would have been more on that window thing, for sure.
And then you told them what I did about the windows. And then how did they react? What did you tell them?
I told them that you took them out, and that we were going to get the DNA. I don't think we had the DNA tested yet.
No, not even yet.
At that point.
No.
Yeah, but they were all interested in that, and they told me they believed me. And when I actually when it came out on the air, I was a little bit disappointed, you know, because it didn't come out like how.
Yeah, basically, Renee came back and said it was a bear, and so they left it at that.
Yeah. And I think they did that, all shot that 2 days before we even did the shoot that I did with them.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because I was with them the whole time. There was only a couple of times where they were off by themselves,
right?
And we were doing something else. You know what I mean? And and they walked off, like where this picture with David where they're walking down the hill.
Uh-huh.
That was the longest time that they ever where I wasn't with them the whole time. I mean, from like 5 in the morning until 1 in the morning, right? Every day, every single day. And that's when they videotaped what they thought about the windows.
Right.
And then it was like several days later is when I was telling them the story of the windows, and they were standing there, like incredible, like, oh my God, no, but they didn't know this, shooting daggers at their producer with their eyes, like, like, oh my God, this is like the story of the century. We don't even know, what's going on.
Right.
But it's kind of cool. Now I'm really good friends with them because of, that and some other stuff, but only really, really good friends with them. And I think they really want to do more with the Finding Bigfoot thing, only their hands are tied, they don't edit it and stuff. So they're just along for the ride, and at least they're getting the thing out there about Bigfoot and more awareness and more people and everybody doing it. I just hope there's not more people going the 411 route, because of, everybody thinks it's cool and they go out there and then they're not prepared and then they disappear.
Exactly. So, okay, let's, and then after finding Bigfoot...
David was telling them about the Bigfoot that he saw while he was on that trail.
Right.
There was one of him watching him walk the trail, and that's the one he was telling about in the episode where he started to walk up there and it took off.
Right. All right.
It was a quick one.
So now, going back to the DNA stuff, after the Finding Bigfoot episode aired, there was a professor at a college here in California who was watching that episode and decided to call the 24-hour hotline, which I have on the website. He did some investigations, and he called me, and he introduced himself to me, and he says, "Hey, I heard you have DNA from Bigfoot." And I said, "Yes, I do." He goes, "But we don't have the funds to get it tested." He goes, and he goes, "I'll test it for you for free." And I said, "Whoa!" So what happened is we had several meetings prior to getting the DNA tested with this professor, and this guy so happens to be one of the elite DNA professors in the United States of America. Okay, and he's here in California. And so we had a couple of meetings prior to him, and we told him how it all happened, what we had. And you could tell, because this guy is a scientist. He knows about every single animal out there. And he does not believe in Bigfoot, because a scientist requires a body. So he just, listened to what we had to say, and he says, "Okay, why don't you meet me at the lab on this certain weekend on a Saturday morning," which we did. It was Alan and Jimmy, his brother, and myself. We showed up, and I rolled in my case. I took the case cover off. There displayed the windows, and he looked at me, and he looked at the windows, and he looked at me again, and he goes, "You have the windows." And I said, "Yes, I do. I told you I did." And so he was dumbfounded. He thought we were joking. So we took the windows out, put the gloves on, put them on the lab's table, and they started to go and do the test. And we were there. How many times? Was it 2 or 3 times, Alan?
I think it was 3.
It was 3. Okay. So to make a long story short, the first one he did it, and it came back. He said, contaminated with human DNA. And we said, well, that's impossible because we did not touch it. We had gloves on at all times. So he says, okay, we need to do another testing on it. But this time, let's take swabs from all the people that were around these windows. And what he did also is he lives at a ranch. And he took the DNA or the saliva off of a cow, a horse, a dog. And with all that in mind, he did another sample DNA testing of what was on the window, and he put it against all of our other DNA and the animals, and it came back not a match. So he says, okay, so what I need to do now is we need to go even further, because whatever this is, it has partial human DNA in it. So I remember this. This.
Yeah, it was like mammal and human.
Right, mammal and human.
But only we had to go deeper to know more, and
Right.
we wanted to go deeper.
Absolutely. So he says, so he says, okay, we need to do something else, and come back. And we took another date, and we came back another day. And this was really surprising to me, because it was just Alan and myself, I think, that time. And we walked in the lab, and we noticed that there were, I'm going to say, 6 or 7 other adults in the lab area. And they were all wearing white, lab coats, but they were placed around in the lab in different chairs in different spots. And I looked at Alan, and I said, what's going on here? And he goes, I don't know. So they started doing the sequence again. And the professor had a little book, and he started calling out the adults one by one. At that time, we had no idea who they were. And one of the adults got up, went over to the location where the professor was, and he said, grab that swab, put it in that, swab it over here, do that, which that person did. And he says, okay, you're done. Thank you. And he wrote down on the piece of book what that person did. And he did that to all 6 or 7 people. Well, to come to find out, those 6 or 7 people were all professors at that college, all in the science department. And we went, what? They were there on a Saturday morning on their own time. What we believed is that the professor knew that this might be the smoking gun. And what he wanted to do is he wanted every professor, every science professor there at this college to be a part of the find of the century. Because if this was to come back, what he is now thinking might be a Bigfoot, an unknown species, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, that the science department at this college was going to get the credit of the find of the century, and he wanted everybody to get involved. And I looked at Alan, and we finally figured out what was going on, and that just freaking blew us away. Now, what happened after that? It came back still human and mammal. Now, he says that we can go further, but what he was doing is he was doing this on his time, and he wasn't telling. The school didn't know he was doing this. All right, you guys? And he says, you know what? If we're going to continue doing this, we need funds so we can, put in, and that way when they come back and say, so who paid for all this? That there has to be monies somewhere. And he told me how much it was going to cost. At that time, I didn't have the money. We didn't have the money. So we said, we can't do it. We cannot do it.
We still don't.
Yeah, I know. We can't. We still don't. That's why, and it's probably too late already. But if we get this TV show, which I know it's going to happen, and if there's a budget, I still have the windows, you guys, and I still have the excuse me, what do you call the test tubes with the original DNA Mickey took off the windows in.
Yeah, the vials.
The vials. I'm saying we go and we.
That might not be degraded.
And I still have them. So we can still do this. So that's where we stand right now with all this DNA and stuff from the windows, you guys. I still have it. So I'm just waiting for the network to come knocking on our door, says, okay, let's put this on TV. Because that time it will be, there will be a budget. There will be money to do this. Okay. All right, let's go. We're way behind schedule. Let's go ahead to number.
Yeah, the testing that he did, that was actually like leftover DNA from something else he was doing. Like he had the chemicals and stuff like that. It was like leftover.
Right.
From a grant that they did on something else. And in order to get more, he had to justify buying it. And it cost a lot of money for that chemical stuff,
Right.
So we lucked out, that he wanted to at least see if we were telling the truth or not.
Exactly.
Actually.
Exactly. So, okay, I got the truck and the trailer up, Danny.
Yeah, 22 and 23 are just showing you guys that the roads up there at the spot are not like a picnic ground or a campground. They're not paved. Most of the time, they're not maintained. The last couple times we got lucky, but this is usually what we run into.
This is my truck and the trailer I was pulling. I got stuck because at that time I didn't have a 4x4.
And you can see the wood in the water. You never know what's in there, and you got stuck for a while in there.
Yeah, we did. Okay, and then all right. So the next one now is the light.
Is us trying to get out in
Christine
Memorial
would be
Day.
laughing at you on that one.
So, okay, let's skip over to number 24, the first light in the picture.
That's a lights captured in the middle of the night from the game cameras.
Right.
They kind of look like eyeballs because there's two of them.
Right.
There's two at the top and two at the bottom.
Now, people were saying, oh, it's a guy with a camera or a headlamp. Again, you guys, this is a place where there is no campgrounds. This is in the middle of frickin' nowhere. These photographs that you see here were taken in early morning hours where no one in their right mind would be walking around this area with a headlamp, all right? Absolutely nonsense. So David got these on his camera, game camera. The next one, and I'm going to show you, is this one. Now, again, people were saying, oh, that's the moon, that's the sun. This is dense forest, people. All right, this camera that was set up on this particular shot was set up at about 3 or 4 feet high, straight forward, not up, straight forward. This is not the moon. This is not a flashlight. This is not the sun. Okay, what is it? I have no clue. All right, but we are showing you this because the Native Americans told David this is a sacred spot. This is a sacred site. Weird things happen here. We would have never guessed in a million years that David would have caught these unknown type of lights on the game camera. What these are, you guys, your guess is as good as ours because we still don't know what these are. Danny, do you know what this is? Alan, do you know?
No.
They call it
I know there's two of them.
Right. All right.
Looks like eyeballs.
Let's go to the next one. And then, I don't know. I mean, this is hard to say what this is, but...
David said it's kind of like two hands on each side grabbing the camera and shaking it.
Which makes...
You can kind of see a shadow in the middle.
Right, shadow in the middle. And then sort of kind of maybe fingerprints, some knuckles. We don't know. But we wanted to...
He also has a video of something grabbing the camera that you showed not too long ago.
Okay. And let's go to the next one. That's the same one. All right. This is now I'm at the number 27.
Yeah, that was the hunting blind that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
And those trees, those branches, huge, can't lift them. And they didn't fall from the trees that are in that area either.
No.
They were all taken there and piled there.
Right. This was at a spot that not so long ago, a couple years ago, we found this by accident because we were just walking. This is what we do, you guys. We walk the area looking for evidence, weird stuff. And Danny spotted this. And after he spotted this, I started walking around and I was looking up because somebody always told me these things climb trees. Do I know that for a fact? No, because I've never seen one. I've never seen one, period. So I was looking up. And I noticed something at a very high altitude on a tree. And I called everybody over and I said, you guys, look. What the hell? This thing, how high do you think this was? 70 feet, 80 feet up?
It's pretty high. Probably about 60.
60, 70, okay.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here, folks? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Do you see this piece?
Next picture, the 20 or 30 is a close-up of it.
30 is a close-up? Okay, let's go. Okay, well, I'm going to show you that. Okay, right now I'm going to show you this piece of wood here and this piece of wood here that's stuck into this tree knot. You see that, you guys? This is number 28. I'm going to go, and we're going to go to number 29, which is now this is right above those two pieces of firewood that are up there.
There's a lot of spots on that tree where the bark was rubbed off.
You see that? Like something was hanging off of that limb. And when I say hang, just imagine a a monkey or a chimpanzee on that swinging back and forth.
Like a giant jungle gym.
Yes. All right.
You usually can climb the trees with your gaffing equipment, but this tree was so thick you couldn't even get your stuff around it.
Not even close. So we're telling ourselves, okay, why are these things up there? Now, would a bear have taken these pieces of, and we're calling them pieces of firewood because that's what they look like to us, way up there, 80 feet up. Now, the first 25 feet of the tree at the bottom of the base, there are no tree limbs, no way to like grab on and pull yourself up. The actual tree circumference of this tree at the very bottom is probably 3 feet, maybe 4 feet wide. That's how big this tree is at the base of this tree. So now you guys all know I gaff trees because I work for AT&T. Okay. Now when we go up, I place the game cameras at a high altitude. My belt, and people were going, "Oh, you did that. You put it up there." Well, I know this is going to sound stupid and ridiculous, but I'm afraid of heights. Yes, I know I work for the phone company. But at the time, I thought I was going to be programming telephones. I did not know I was going to be climbing freaking telephone poles. I almost didn't pass and didn't get the job because of that. Now, I can climb telephone poles, but not to the extent you think I can. All right? So anyways, something took these pieces of wood up 60, 70, 80 feet up in the sky of this tree and placed it there. Notice this one right here. It's just laying across. Actually, no, let's take that back. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, this piece of tree here, the piece of wood, do you see that little piece of wood coming out here? Something placed it and binded it between these two tree limbs right there. So that way it's now in a stationary position. Do you see that, guys? Do you see that? This is number 28. Now let's go.
That little area there is facing the hunting blind.
Okay, so let's go to this thing. What the hell? Something placed this particular piece of wood into this tree knot. This wood did not grow out of the tree knot. This wood is not the same as these other pieces of wood. Something took these two pieces of wood up that tree and placed them there. Now, why do you think somebody would have done that? As a human, would a human have done that? No, absolutely not. Now, I don't know what a Bigfoot or how a Bigfoot, what it does to keep itself amused. Okay, what not to say that two young, I'm not saying two, let's just say some young Bigfoot went up this tree, took these pieces of wood up there and placed them there just because to do it. Now, Alan, could a bear have taken these pieces of wood up there?
Maybe in its mouth, but it wouldn't.
There would be no reason to.
It wouldn't even go that high, really. Okay. I mean, a baby one might go that high if it was in danger, but
it would not put a piece of wood in its mouth and take it up there, and then
and wouldn't do it.
No, there's no reason to. Would a human climb this tree and do that? What would be the reason? You guys go.
Well, the lowest branches are like I didn't see the tree. I wasn't there.
Right.
I didn't hike up there.
Right.
But from what I saw, you can't even jump to reach the lower branch.
No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't. So, anyways, I'm taking the film crew to shoot another episode of our TV show up to this spot. And we're going to go film this, you guys. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to put my belt around this, and I'm going to show you that I can't climb this thing. We're going to film all this for the TV show. So, anyways, okay.
Yeah, the game camera's still up there, too.
We were told that by somebody else that goes in the area with us that he caught the Bigfoot sitting in a tree looking at us. He went on a hike and realized that there's a Bigfoot in the tree, and it was looking over the camp. And it was early in the morning, and he went out walking.
Who said this?
Joe Walls.
Joe Walls, huh?
Yeah. And from that time on, that's when we all started looking in the trees.
Right.
None of us had a clue to look in the tree, really.
No, never. So, okay, so there's a close-up of those pieces of wood, you guys. Did a tornado come in and swoop these pieces of wood and take them up there and do that? Really? No. I tried debunking this. Everybody else did try to debunk. Now, Robert Scott, one of our team members, at the time doesn't believe in Bigfoot. And he's looking at this, and he's going, WTF. I don't get it. Why is this? Why are these two pieces of wood there? That doesn't make any sense to him. It doesn't make any sense to him. Not unless you think like a Bigfoot, like a child Bigfoot, maybe. But, okay, so we're showing you guys this so that way you guys go, whoa. All right. Next one is...
It could actually be that there's some kind of nest up there, and
could be.
They were hunting for, food, and they used the wood to dig down in the holes in the tree.
I see what you're saying. To get whatever, maybe there's something in that knot, maybe like a squirrel or...
Yeah,
or
hard
something.
to tell when we're really down here and it's way up there. But
right.
I mean, it could even be some kind of beehive or something.
True, I didn't think about
that. We don't know.
Right. So, okay.
But just think, like all the time, these things are 500 pounds. They're always looking for food. Always. Hasn't ended.
Yeah, I know. All I did was close out the window. I didn't hit stop. I just closed out the window and went to camera, and it froze. So now we're back on. All right.
That's weird.
Yeah. See, I didn't do anything, guys, different. I just hit, I closed out the window, and that was it. That's crazy. So, okay. All right.
The 900-pound owls, too, but that's another day.
Yeah, another time. So, all right, we can talk about that next Sunday.
All right.
Okay. All right, Danny. Thank you, dude.
Okay.
Okay. We'll talk to you later. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. So, actually, you're okay. Okay. All right, so, you guys, there is so much stuff that you guys haven't even seen or heard that we have in our possession. Like right now, I just got on the 24-hour hotline, I got somebody from, I don't know, from Florida maybe, but he goes, and when we were talking about the Bigfoot photos, he goes, that last picture was the best picture of a Bigfoot ever. Jeff, you guys rock, thanks. This is from Joe from the band. I'm going to go ahead and give you a plug. Dragon Head. Peace, guys. I think that is probably one of the best photographs of a Bigfoot that I have ever seen. Because it shows everything. It shows everything. The windows, I believe in my heart, and I believe everybody, even David Ragosa thinks that is probably... the proof, because if it can convince Mickey Burrow, CSI, forensic expert for police department, that you guys have just convinced me there's a Bigfoot with that right there on the windows, then we've got it. We have got it. But the question is, do you guys, for all those out there who are non-believers, you will still never believe. You will never, unless we or somebody kills a Bigfoot and brings them in on a stretcher right here. You guys probably will still don't believe it until you walk in that door and feel it. And we cut a hole in its stomach and you stick your hand in its stomach. That's the only way. We need a body. But we have so much great evidence. For us, the creature is real. And I don't care what you naysayers say. We know they're for real. Now, the next thing we got to do is we have to prove it to y'all. And by showing you some of this, we're hoping that you guys will understand that we are damn close. We are so close. And we're almost there. So, okay. So, what I want to do now is I want to call Heidi. And we're going to call Heidi and we're going to talk about some more paranormal stuff. And then after we talk to Heidi, I have some great stuff that I need to show you guys. That, again, I'm going to blow you away. All right? So stick around. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. Let's get hold of Heidi. All right.
Good evening.
Heidi.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. Okay. Well, we are sorry about that. We are totally behind schedule.
That's all good.
So So good. All right. So for all those who don't know, Heidi sent me over some photographs just like Danny did, and they are on the artbell.com website right now, marked Heidi Hollis, and you can go and follow them there if you want, or continue staying with us on live stream, and I will show them to you here. Heidi, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I just love this crazy stuff. Anything that's out of the ordinary, I always say, been there, seen that, tried that, wrote about it, got over it, and now I'm hoping to help others get the stuff and, I don't know, learn from it. So I welcome everybody to check out my main website, which is HeidiHollis.com. And also, I love to get people's emails, insight, comments, opinions, questions, anything and everything out of the ordinary. So if you've experienced something, even if you took a picture or if you've drawn something about an experience that you had, I don't care how long ago it was, feel free to write me at oddadvicehh@gmail.com.
Right on.
That's fun.
Okay.
I love helping people. And, I wanted to put word out there on a couple of different things. Sadly, on Wednesday, one of my good friends and lawyer was found murdered in Redondo Beach. And I wanted to put the word that, she was somebody that supported people like myself, John Greenwald, Russell Dowden, people that are involved in the paranormal and UFO community, and she represented us in our work and believed in us. And she was a former L.A. police officer turned lawyer, had her own television series on Sundance Channel called Loredana Esquire, so Loredana Nessie. Thoughts and prayers to you and your family. It's really sad. Reportedly, her longtime boyfriend and father of her 5-year-old is the one that did this to her.
Wow.
And just really, really awful. So
yeah, I saw that on.
I wanted to put that out there because, the paranormal world really lost a good supporter, somebody that could be trusted, and just a good person. So, I also want to put out there, I am still looking for people who suffer from night terrors, sleep paralysis, nightmares, sleepwalking, all of that stuff, seeing things upon waking up, no matter what it is, shadow people. Feel free to write me at Das Outlander, DAS Outlander @gmail.com for a potential television project. I'm just helping them out to pull some folks together because I think it's an important thing to have people's voices be heard. This is a real phenomenon. It's a real problem. Yes, some people look at it from the scientific perspective. I look at it from the paranormal perspective, and and just kind of go from there and try to give people some real help and a voice in this. So
right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with photograph number 1. Let me go to your side here. All right, Indonesia. Got it. Go.
Yes. Oh, I wanted to address those lovely photos that I put up last week in regard to the black cube. Now, this is interesting. I have a group and a website called Paranormal Pledge and paranormalpledge.com where I try to encourage people to step forward and, make a pledge to speak of their paranormal stories so, people don't think that this stuff is so odd and rare. So, someone responded to one of these cube pictures. You could go on Artbell and find the pictures from last week to see what it is I'm speaking of. And they shared a sighting of a black cube that looked exactly like what was shared. So I'm going to read quickly what this report is. It doesn't go with that picture that's right there, but that's all good. Okay. So this person said, I was out in my backyard, again, looking for UFOs in 2002 when I saw a giant white flash in the northeastern sky, which told me from experience that there was UFO activity in the area. I started walking towards my deck to get closer to the house when I saw an object just north of my 2 trees in my backyard streaking in very fast at about the middle of the trees. A black cube stopped on a dime, 90 degrees to me, right above my garage. It sat there for 3 seconds, then just took off at tremendous speed. It made no noise and managed to scare the heck out of me this time. I was having a personal interaction with UFOs and various types of intelligences, which was very enlightening. I thought I was ready for a contact experience in person, but found out that night that I wasn't. I quit looking for UFOs. And then he shares, the black cube I saw was about 2/3 the size of a single garage door. It was a perfect cube, and I could imagine two beings being able to fit inside. It had to be carrying its own gravitational field with it because it could have been able to kill the inertia effect. I mean, it stopped on a dime and did not shake with any forward momentum. Could be that the field is what I felt, and it really scared me. All of the others would just buzz me over, buzz by my treetops, or just drop out of the heavens and then circle me. And some were just absolutely amazing. This one wasn't. So I had to share that because that was just, it's not often that people speak of these cubes, but they are showing up. So those, I don't know if those were legit, but hey, it's really fascinating either way. So.
Right on.
Okay. Yeah?
No, you're good.
Okay, all right. So going on to picture number one.
Okay, we're on picture number one.
This is a daytime UFO photo over North Jakarta, Indonesia, July 17, 2015. And, this is a video, so you could go and watch the video. And it's interesting. So this person is videotaping this, and at a certain point, you hear something that sounds like gunshots. And the person, that's filming, I mean, this UFO is pretty much it in a certain area, just kind of lollygagging about. And then the gunshots go off, and you hear the person that's filming go something like, what the hell is that? And the camera gets shaky, and the UFO moves out of range. Like somebody took a couple of shots at this thing, and it reacted. So it was really, really kind of interesting. So definitely check out that. Moving on to picture number two. So this happened in Tijuana, Mexico, July 17th of this year.
Okay.
And this is an interesting video. It's pretty fascinating. This first picture that you're going to see here shows one of the different angles of it. But as this craft kind of starts to spin, you get to appreciate that the body of this thing is glowing, as well as independent lights. So it makes it more difficult to tell what the shape of it is. But as this, when you look at the next picture,
okay,
you do get to see that it is more triangular in shape, which is really kind of a beautiful color and just kind of resonating looking type of craft. So I found that this video was really something else to behold. All right. I don't know if you got that one up.
Yeah,
okay.
I sure do. I that is weird. I've never seen anything like that ever.
Right.
As far as photographs, yeah, I have never seen anything like this.
Yeah. Well, it's a video too, so I kind of grabbed those images off the video, but I was like, wow, it's kind of beautiful.
Wow, it is.
So moving on to the fourth picture.
Okay.
We're looking at Tucson. Okay. This is what the person stated, and this comes from the website, Latest UFOs. It's, okay, what does this say? All right, here we go. This is over Sabino Canyon, Tucson, Arizona, 4th of July of this year. And the person that did this said this is at 5X, but can go to 20X. This was approximately at 9 o'clock on the 1st of July at the Sabino Canyon parking lot situated in the northeast edge of Tucson. I've always left the timestamp of my videos at its original of 2011, so ignore that fact. The sky was completely overcast over the Catalina Mountains. The small dots you see on the screen are normal for night vision cameras, so those are not stars in the sky, because it starts to kind of get pixelated when you look at the video. The very first couple of seconds shows some odd lights in the right of the frame. Those are the radio towers of the mountain out of focus, thus making them look odd. There were a few cars coming and going out of the parking lot, so they account for some of the light shift. Unfortunately, I zoomed in too much and destroyed the clarity of the video at times, but it still captures the amazing event that we witnessed. There are a couple of times I adjust the focus, and it makes the three lights of the UFO seem to morph, but that is only, again, me focusing. The main three lights stay distinct in the sky and only look like they become one light and then back to three because of my tinkering. Now, I see that you got that other image up there. Now, what's interesting to me, all right, so that's interesting, like flare, that bright yellow kind of flare on there. But this person, okay, so they say, it's like on picture number 6. They say that it's because of their tinkering that it looked like it went from 3 lights back to 1. But in this picture, it looks double. And I don't know. I don't know if it's the adjusting thing, but it surely didn't. It seemed like it came from it and expanded and then reduced in size and disappeared. So I don't know what they're speaking of, that it looks like it became 1, because I mean, it honestly looked like it was separating. I don't know. Just my thoughts on that.
Interesting. And there's a video on this?
Yes, there's a video for this one. Yeah.
Cool.
And so that's also placed up there. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, me being from Wisconsin, you know, Bray Road Beast and all that stuff, I do find the Dogman stuff to be really cool and interesting. So I had to dig up a good old-fashioned monster story because I just had to. And
cool.
I don't know if you guys have ever spoken of this one, but this one is this is just really cool. Okay, you have it. All right, so picture number 7. This took place March 27th of 2011, and this was located on the public land recreation area on a large TVA lake in East Tennessee. Okay, and this is from the site called Dogman Monsters Are Real with Scott Carpenter. Woo! Okay, let me get down to his story because this is really just unbelievable. And this is in his own words. I'm standing on the shore of the lake using my monopod-mounted video camera to search the small island approximately 60 feet off the mainland. I am in deep concentration, slowly filming the adjacent shoreline, looking for a possible Bigfoot. So he's a Bigfoot hunter. Unknown to me, the Dogman that was observing me at the feeding station has followed me to the water's edge. The creature has risen up only 4 feet behind me in the midst of a small cedar tree. The Dogman is on the right side of the trail, and my back trail camera is mounted on my left shoulder. And I didn't send that picture to you guys, but he's literally got a camera that's facing backwards to catch if anything comes up behind him, which is kind of funny and cool.
That is smart. Very smart.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Because they hunt you, so they're making sure you don't see them.
Right.
So no eye contact. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So there's a way to get around all that. So okay, so it says I do not capture any footage of the creature while I am facing forward. When I decide I am done filming the island, I start to turn to my left. I turn about 45 degrees and stop for approximately 6 seconds. During these 6 seconds, the Dogman is being captured on my back trail camera. And the Dogman nervously rocks back and forth, attempting to anticipate my movement. So there's obviously a video for this, but he did not have it posted. Otherwise, I would have so shared this. After the 6-second pause, I turn my shoulders further to my left, and the Dogman ducks down into the heavy foliage, but does not retreat. I pause again for approximately 9 seconds, then complete my turn. During the second 9-second pause, the Dogman's dark form is visible through the heavy foliage. Once I complete my turn, I get the strange feeling that I'm being watched. I pause for a moment, look in the exact area where the Dogman has just ducked down. I take my monopod-mounted camera and film this area for approximately 10 seconds. I do not see anything, and after the short pause, I begin walking away from the area. When I reviewed the footage, a faint dark shape is still visible in the dense foliage. I think I was fortunate not to see the Dogman myself that day. The rest of the outing went without incident. The following day, I was reviewing the footage in the comfort of my home. I remember seeing the strangely shaped creature rock back and forth as I turned my shoulders and saying to myself, what on earth is that? I replayed the video over and over again, stepping through the footage slowly. I could not believe my eyes. What was this strange thing, and how did it get this close to me without making any noise? Is this a weird-looking Bigfoot? I did not know that the Dogman even existed at this time. So when you look at the next images, these are drawings that have been created that kind of fall into place.
Wow.
With photos, which is really crazy.
That's some cool stuff there.
Yeah, I was just like, woo, oh my goodness. So, okay, then he says I loaded the footage into my video editor, cropped around the subject, enlarged it, and he was just more and more horrified. And his wife saw it and said that thing could have killed you. Why on earth? Don't go back out into the woods again alone. And he actually reached out to Linda Godfrey, who found the Bray Road beast and whatnot. And she was pretty intrigued by his footage that he got. The next image shows the footprint. And this guy being a Bigfoot hunter, obviously is not attributing this to being a Bigfoot.
No way. That is way cool.
So, and she asked Linda Godfrey if she knew of anybody being harmed by a dog man, and she said she had not, so that was a good thing. Isn't it crazy footprint there?
That is very cool. That is not a regular human footprint with 5 toes. I see 3. I see. I don't see something normal there.
No, it doesn't look anything like a Bigfoot print, eh?
Nope, not even close.
Big claws, man. Big claws.
Like an alligator.
Kind of. Alligator. Yeah, that would be one heck of an alligator. Oh my goodness. So I've got tonight. I gathered a couple of stories of dogmen stories. These are not stories that were written into me asking for advice or anything like that. So I thought I would share one of these. I don't know how much time we got. So
yeah, go for it.
All right,
enough of one.
Okay, cool. This person says, maybe 5 years ago, one night, I was at a friend's house out in the country in Vesper, Wisconsin, when my friend's car turned in and came rushing up the driveway. The car came to a halt, and 2 of my friends jumped out. They explained that they had seen something they just couldn't describe. I asked them if they got a good look at whatever had shook them up so badly. They looked at each other and said, yes. They said they were driving through the country on their way to join us, and were driving past a farm when they noticed something in the ditch. The friend who was driving said he flashed his brights to get a better look, and whatever it was raised up and ran across the road on all 4s. It looked like it could walk on 2 legs if it wanted to, they both said. They also said it looked like it was half dog and half man, or maybe half dog and half monkey. They couldn't explain how the creature looked any better than that. They just kept trying to compare it to other animals. They said they were about 20 yards from it. The brights were on, and they got a really good look at it. I'm like, whoa, that is really crazy. Now, I have to tell you real quickly, too, your wife in the chat room has suggested that I tell you a story about Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah.
So
what about her?
If you want to live peacefully there at home, I have to share this, okay?
Okay. Got it. I got that hint right there.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just mentioning, I was interviewed on Shirley MacLaine's radio show, okay? And holy smokes, I love her movies, I love her as an actress and everything, but if you
out on a limb.
Yes, out on a limb, she had alien interactions. She made it kind of cool to be, somebody who's experienced aliens and whatnot. And, I thought, wow, what a spiritually evolved lady, how very cool. So I get on this show, and I'm like nervous as heck. It's Shirley MacLaine.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, she's interview me. Like this is crazy. I'm like, okay. I get on the show, and she barraged me with questions like a truck driver. So what do you know? What's going on? It was really
just like that, huh?
Oh man, it was wild. Like I'm telling her about my book, The Secret War, and and some of the alien beings that I had interactions with, and about this war between positive and negative beings. She goes, yeah, I know about the war. So tell me, what do you know? And I was like, whoop, give me a second, And so I was trying to tell her, but she, my certain things that have happened, and she kept cutting into it and just being like, I want to know this, A, B, C, and D. It's like, I want this now, type of questioning. And I was just listening. I was like, wow, this is a strange interview. I've never had such a thing. So I'm like, I made it through the interview, right?
Right.
And I was like, I felt like apologizing to any alien being that I'd ever, discussed and had, interactions with. I'm like, I don't know what just happened here, type of thing. And I get contacted later, and they're just like, Heidi, they have never, ever experienced this before, but there was such heavy interference during the interview. Though it sounded perfectly clear while they were recording and everything, all their copies were essentially destroyed, and they could not air it. And I was the first that it ever happened to, and I'm like,
what?
That's what you get. It was just like, and Shirley, you would have probably gotten further if you didn't, it was like on the attack. It was really weird.
Wow.
What is going on here? I'm like,
the way she was interviewing you sounds like the part in Guarding Tess. For those who don't know, that was one of my top 15 movies, Guarding Tess, with her in it. But anyways, yeah. Wow, I could see her doing that to you.
You really see? I had no clue that she was like that. It was just like she was smoking a cigar. And, yeah, tell me this. I was like, what?
Oh, I still got to get her on. That's actually one on the bucket list as far as my TV show goes. So hopefully we'll get her.
Yeah, well, she'd be interesting. She's not shy. Let's put it that way.
That's awesome.
But I didn't take her as being rude. I just took her as being somebody that was get to the point already. But I'm like, I barely got my name out before that started up, and I'm like, well, who knows? And it takes a second to, you got to give a little background, don't you? It's
right.
different. I just never experienced that before. But hey. Hopefully you get her on the show, and I don't think she'd forget me because I was the only show that she could not air because the powers that be interfered.
I guess so. Wow. that is actually awesome and cool because that means you are someone they need to watch out for. I don't know. I mean, so. I tried to get a message across, but it surely didn't get across properly because it was so cut up. Right.
I couldn't get it out to tell her the proper way that it needed to be told because she demanded it to be done this way or that way. And I'm like, well, you're really not going to get really far with me because you just can't slap it out there like that, So, I don't know. But I just had to share because it was just something else.
Very cool. All right.
So,
that's awesome.
All right.
Well, I like Shirley MacLaine. I
do too.
She's out on the limb. For all those who don't know about the movie Out on a Limb, go get it. Go look at it. It's actually on YouTube. Go watch Out on a Limb. Yeah, it's a very long movie though. It is.
Yeah. And you know what? It's so worth it. And you know what? She opened up a lot of eyes, and she's still doing it.
Right.
I mean, I still like her. I don't have a problem with her. I just thought it was
a weird interview.
It was one of the weirdest and most strange interviews I ever had. But
that's funny.
Hey, maybe we'll have to do it again because she didn't get the story.
Right.
So.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Heidi.
All right. Well, you have an awesome evening. It was good to hear Alan. I'm so glad that things are going well.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back here pretty soon. So we'll see.
You need to put a teddy bear in his seat or something and like put a ponytail on it.
I was gonna put one of the aliens in its spot, and then I was gonna put that hedgehog in its spot, but I'm going, I don't know. I was actually
whatever you put, it needs a ponytail.
Ponytail? Okay. Well, next week. If he's not here next week, I'll think of something.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Heidi. Talk to you next week. Okay. See ya. All right. We have 50 minutes. All right. Okay. We are going to have some fun. You guys ready for this? I am. I've been doing some research, and again, we watch, I don't want to say we watch a lot of movies. Have you guys been noticing on TV right now? And don't tell me that they do this all the time and they run these all the time. Well, because they do, but why? Why are they running all these movies right now on cable? I'm going to give you, Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, Independence Day, Field of Dreams, The Day After Tomorrow, Twister, Thor. What do all those have in common? Say it again. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Independence Day, Field of Dreams, The Day After Tomorrow, Twister, Thor. What do all those have in common? Oh, and Star Trek, Into the Darkness, in the first and second one, the new ones. All right, so keep all those in your mind right now when I start talking about what we're going to start talking about. Now, September, we're going to continue on Jade Helm and September, what's coming up in September. All right. Sometimes in this field, you have to clear your mind and think out of the box and say, what if this is going to happen because of this and this? Again, I've always told you they are giving us hints in movies. I'm holding up one movie, one of my all-time favorites of all time, Contact, with Jodie Foster. And I know everybody who's watching me right now and listening to Art Bell have seen this movie. Do you want to take a ride, Art Bell? That's where he got this from. Do you want to take a ride? Okay, now, what is this movie about, Contact? The movie is about the Jodie Foster and the guy that said he receive a signal, and in that signal they have the ways, the instructions to build something. They don't know what it's supposed to build until they figure it out. It's a I don't want to say time machine, it's a portal to get from one place to another place. Okay? All right. Okay. We all know that possibly Planet X, or however way you want to call it or name it, Nibiru, is supposedly very close to us now. Right? Like really close. Within the next 6-7 months, we are going to be seeing it in our skies. All right. Now, I want to say, I'm throwing this out. All right. I'm going to throw this out, and you guys are probably going, you are way out there. You're smoking the crack again, Jeff. But oh well. This is my job, is to think out of the box. Right? Okay. CERN. When was CERN? I'm going to put something on the screen here really quick here. All right. And it's right here. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest and most powerful particle collider and largest and most complex experimental facility ever built, and the largest single machine in the world. It was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, between 1998 and 2008. All right? Contact. Contact was filmed in 1997. What if the world's governments were contacted? And again, I'm just throwing this out there. Just bear with me. Were contacted and given instructions to make a Stargate, a portal, the CERN. Let's say that they are making the CERN because they know that Planet X, Nibiru, it's on its way and it's going to be really close. And by activating the CERN, it's going to allow whatever is on Nibiru to transport over to Earth. I'm just saying. Again, Contact was filmed in 1997. They started building the CERN in 1998. All right, I'm just throwing that out there. Just think about it. What if? What if? And our governments know what we're trying to do. It's basically telling everybody to that start the CERN, and we'll be able to transport from Planet X to Earth, like they did 3,600 years ago with the Stargate that they found here. And that's why our military is being positioned all around to see what does come through that wormhole Stargate to here. I'm throwing it out there. Okay, this Contact, one of the movies. All right, now let's continue on. I have a bunch of movies here. I'm gonna. I was watching. Okay, there is 2 movies here. Where is it? You guys, if you guys have been watching me for a while, I have brought this movie up. The Last Mimsy. Okay? Now, Cheryl, my wife, I didn't know anything about this movie. She's the one who brought it to my attention. She purchased it before we met a long time ago. All right? The Last Mimsy. Now, if you guys have watched The Last Mimsy, it's about a wormhole, Stargate. There is stuff in here that I want to compare to what's happening now. For example, Star Trek into darkness. Star Trek Into Darkness. All right. Do you guys remember when the parents at the very beginning of the movie? There's the two parents who are driving to the hospital because the child is, I guess, has cancer or is very sick and is in the hospital bed. Do you remember the mother looking at the child there on the bed, and she has something in her hands? All right, what I'm going to do right now, oh no, I hope that didn't mess it up, did it? Okay, no, is I'm going to play you, and I'm going to go ahead and forward it to you. Okay, right there. Do you see what the mother has in her hands, you guys? Look how they are like zeroing in on the mother placing that little bunny there for some reason. Why are they concentrating on that bunny? Don't you find that just really weird? It's all about that bunny at that particular time when she's sick. See that? Boom. They're looking at that bunny. Then I went, and I said that to my wife. I go, boy, that bunny sure looks familiar. Where have I seen that bunny before? Right. The Last Mimsy. It's the same frickin' bunny. Here's the bunny. The Last Mimsy. And it's the same bunny at the Star Trek. Just about pretty damn close. So why are they really stressing on that bunny? I don't know.
So is that bunny like the 6-foot rabbit? They name him Harvey?
No. That the bunny in Mimsy is the one that they send this bunny back in the past from the future to retrieve a certain DNA that will cure and help them live out the lives in the open air. It's a DNA they're looking for, a special DNA that will help them survive in what they have, what they live in now, as far as all of the bad air, what the environment they're living in is not livable anymore. But the DNA that comes back on this bunny is now, they can now live with it. Now, it's kind of funny that the blood sample that was given to this man's daughter, it helped her survive. Whatever was in this blood, this DNA, it helped her survive. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. I think there's a correlation between both those two bunnies. Now, Mimsy, again, something happens at the very end of Mimsy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Do you remember? Where is it at? Right here. At the very end, I'm showing it to you right now on the screen. Okay? And the little boy looks up. Well, let me forward that up just a little bit for you guys. Okay, right there. What does that look like to you right there, guys? A spiral in the sky. The bunny is going through a wormhole. Do you guys remember in Norway when Obama was out there? Where'd it go? Oh, come on. Here is the Norway spiral. All right. See how it's blue? I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. I think that there is something to do with this particular spiral that occurred in Norway. And supposedly they say it happened right around the testing of CERN as well. Okay, and this is what caused the spiral, was the activation of CERN. Again, if you go back to Mimsy, it's because they were transporting the bunny back to the future with the DNA from the child's tear duct, a tear. All right? So I'm just throwing that at you. Now, let's continue on. I'm telling you what I'm finding in these movies, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I really don't. All right, so let's continue on. You know, The Last Starfighter. You guys remember The Last Starfighter?
My favorite movie.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my favorite one.
Is it? Okay. Well, I mean, I completely forgot the lizard man's name. What's his name?
Greg.
Okay. What does he look like?
He looks like.
Oh no.
He looks like the ones that Donald Marshall say the Brill.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. The lizard. Now, for some reason, I can't open it up here. It won't let me. Oh, that sucks. But anyway, he looks like a lizard man. Basically.
And they live in caves, just like the Brill live in under the ground.
Right. Now, in the movie The Last Starfighter, I remember the Last Starfighter himself, the boy, whom they chose because he was really good at the game on Earth, and he was talking to him. What's his name again? Greg. Okay. He was telling him.
Luke Gossett. Was it Luke Gossett Jr. played Greg?
Was that
I can't remember.
you know what? Good question. I don't know. But he asked Greg. He goes, why don't you guys go in and basically disclose yourselves? Well, he's basically saying, well, because the people of Earth are not ready yet. That's what he said. The people of Earth are not ready yet. And I found that really cool and interesting. All right. I have some other things on here I want to talk about as well. As a matter of fact, Into Darkness, Star Trek, at the very beginning, they actually, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up right now. This is what comes up at the very beginning, because the Enterprise, they're supposedly on this planet to stop the volcano from exploding and destroying. What's the name of the planet, you say? Nibiru. And I'm showing you right now a snapshot of the screen on the movie. Nibiru. That's the name.
You know, I've been like laying down a lot.
Right.
But only I have that thing that they call a Roku on my TV.
Right.
So I can use my cell phone to control the Roku, and I can stream, and I can stream stuff. And I've been researching the aliens, okay, and recently, your spiral that you just showed,
right,
just dawned on me when you said Star Trek. I don't know why, but it was Star Wars.
Okay.
But, the spiral, I was watching one of the spirals, and it almost looked like there was a beam from the ground hitting the sky and causing the spiral, and it got pretty big, and it was a close-up of it, and then all of a sudden when the beam cut off, the spiral stopped, but only a hole, you could see inside this hole. As the spiral, the final end of the spiral spun around, it opened up, so you could see behind the spiral, and there was the Death Star behind it. Like, I don't know if it was real or not, but only it looked just like the Death Star behind this spiral, and then it got all milky looking, and it went away. Wow. And it was kind of trippy that the spiral thing and what you're saying here.
Right.
The veil is getting thin, and everybody's starting to see now.
I think the CERN was made to open up a portal. I really do. That
they said so.
Yeah, I believe that's what they're trying to do, is open up a portal. So I personally think that they were given instructions on how to make this, just like the movie In Contact, and they are going to open it up, and something is going to come through.
I was on another thing that I streamed. I saw Giorgio, the one guy with the hair,
Right.
and he was showing the Mayan calendar and comparing it to CERN, and it was identical.
What do you mean?
Like a cross section of the CERN collider and the Mayan calendar are identical. So are we looking at a Mayan calendar, or are we looking at a portal that they know about back then?
I have a Mayan calendar, ceramic one that I have in the old studio. I got to bring that in here and then find a picture
we'll have to
of CERN.
compare that.
Yeah.
It's real close. I mean, people could do it online if they want to.
Sure. I'm going to have to go ahead and get that and bring it in and see, if that I never even, I just, okay, they're round. They're both round, but I didn't really put a correlation in between both of them. I just hadn't, I didn't even think about that far. But I really think it's a portal. I think they're going to open something up and something is going to come through. The question is, what is it? And I believe that is, and I believe whatever is going to happen in that time frame, it's going to scare a lot of people. And when I say it's going to scare a lot of people, it's because people are not going to believe it. People are going to freak out because this is going to change their lives big time. Because the people who don't believe in what we talk about here on this show, it's going to freak them out. Okay, this is the reason why in these movies, for I don't know how long, they've been based, and that's what I think right now is they're constantly on TV over and over and over and over and over again, is so they can get it into your heads that if you see this for real, don't trip out. Don't freak out, okay? They're trying to condition us, for those who are not ready, because when something like this, and I think whatever's going to happen, it's going to be paranormal. It's not going to be right, you guys. It's something that is going to happen that you see on TV, like in a sci-fi show, sci-fi movie. That's what is going to happen, and it's going to freak a lot of people out. All right, so it's all about conditioning right now. And again, people are asking me in person at work, what do you think is going to happen on the 23rd? What do you think is going to happen on the 23rd? I don't know, but I tell you right now that if our military obviously are positioning themselves all over the place, they're getting ready for riots. That's what I think, because they're working on crowd control. That's what they're working on right now, is how to handle crowd control. I don't think it's going to have something to do with the grid. I don't think it's going to have something to do with losing power. And the reason, and what I mean by that is, if we get hit by a solar flare or EMP, depending on how big, where, a lot of the electronics, especially in our vehicles, are not going to work. Now, they're obviously positioning a lot of our military Humvees, tanks, a lot of big trucks. For some reason, big trucks are very popular. When I witness these videos on YouTube and people that are sending me videos and photographs of transports on these trains, they're very large vehicles. Now, I don't know anything about vehicles when it comes to engines, but I don't know if these things have, electronics in them. Maybe they don't, maybe they do. But for some reason, I don't see our grid or power going down. I see it more in crowd control. I think whatever's going to happen is going to freak people out, you guys. I really do.
Wow. Okay, wait a minute. That's a good point. Like, if you're listening to all the stuff on the internet right now and the chatter, everybody's afraid of it, saying the government's getting ready to crack down, right, or do something to the people, right?
Right.
What if they're not? What if something is going to happen to the people, and they know it is, and they're preparing for it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
so,
they're actually on our side.
So,
tell us what it is because they don't want us to freak out early.
Right. Now, if the world was going to end on the 23rd, I don't think our government would be worried about positioning our military on certain locations. I think they would have just, nothing would be happening right now if that was the case. But, and I don't see that, okay? Because a lot of people are going, oh my God, the world is going to end. No, the world is not going to end. It's not. It's just a word. It's just something. Something very weird is going to happen in that week, I think. All right, but I just don't know what it is. So I know it's going to freak a lot of people out. So that's why I am trying to condition you guys right now. As a matter of fact, we were just watching Thor on TV, on cable. All right, and a wormhole, a Stargate opened up in the air, and this big black ship comes out with evil in it, and it starts attacking. In the UK, it positioned itself, right? And it's like, really? I mean, it's like, it's telling you right there. Something's coming out of the sky, and it's black, and it's evil, and Thor is trying to counterattack it, and so the UK dispatches 2 jets, and they try shooting at this large black, whatever it is, craft that's positioned itself on Earth. All right. So, a lot of, again, the shows that I just mentioned to you, Ghostbusters, for example, on top of the building, a portal opens up, and evil comes out. That's what happens in Ghostbusters. All right, Independence Day, aliens come from outer space. Something I consider them to be evil. All right, I'm not going to say climate change is occurring, but our weather patterns are really weird right now, you guys. Really weird. From volcanoes going off to storms and hurricanes. And I mean, right now in California, where I live in the central part of California, we should be at 110 freaking degrees right now. And we're not. People are saying our climate is changing. We should be burning up right now. And I should know this because I hate the heat and I work outside in the heat. But it hasn't been hot. And even Cheryl, my wife, mentioned it. She goes, you know what? You are really lucky because it has not been hot like it should be. 100, 101 degrees is not hot to me. I can live with that. But when it gets up to be 107, 108, I sweat buckets. And I hate it. But for some reason, it's not occurring. Now, the media 2 weeks ago, and I said this last week, CNN and CNN and the Today Show accidentally ran a ticker saying there's a Bay Area earthquake of 9.0 that just occurred. And the Fox network came out with a big old 6-minute news report on the fault line that's going down from, Seattle to Oregon to the Bay Area, and expected any time now we're going to get hit with a major 9.0. And all of a sudden I see these tickers. Like, do they know something? Like, I was just reading someplace that, they say that our DNA is changing. All right, people are now able to have gifts. And let me tell you what happened. This was last year. I was right after work. I went to the store, and I was shopping, doing some little shopping, some grocery shopping, and I had a feeling something was not right. I just had a feeling something was not right. And then I finished up, grabbed my groceries, driving home, and that feeling in my gut was still there. And I got home, and as soon as I walk in, I either say, "Hey, Christian, what's going on?" Either up in his room or either he's sitting down on the couch in the family room watching TV. or on the iPad. And I didn't hear him. And I didn't hear anything. I go, Christian. And then all of a sudden, I freaked and I started yelling at my wife. I know I shouldn't, but I started yelling. I go, you forgot to pick up Christian. You forgot to pick up Christian. And then it was on a Wednesday. And she goes, no, dummy. It's Wednesday. Your parents are pick him up from church, from school to take him to catechism. And I said, oh. But that feeling was not gone. And I was still like, I had that weird knot in my stomach. So I went and sat down in my usual spot, and I was on on my iPhone watching TV, and I don't remember what time it was. It was like 5:30, 6 o'clock. The phone rang, and a number came up that I recognized, and I answered it really quick, and it was the school. My parents forgot to pick up Christian, and he was the only one left at the whole school with the campus club. And I went, holy crap. I told Cheryl what happened, and I got in my truck, and I zoomed on down there. And it's like, wow. I knew something was wrong. And I've never, things like that are starting to happen to me. Just weird things. Cheryl and I were starting to, I don't know, it's freaking weird. We're starting to read each other's minds. We are able to sense things now. I've been getting a lot of headaches lately, and I don't have headaches, you guys. I don't. I do not have migraines or headaches at all. But for the past month, I have been getting headaches. And I was reading up on this, and they're saying that we're going through in a session of some type where our DNA is going to change, and we're going to be able to now see the truth for what it is. And
I don't think the DNA is changing. Let me go back. There is some people's DNA changing, and some of it has to do with the aliens. Like if you read about Whitley Strieber and a lot of the people that get abducted,
right?
They get a vision, or the aliens give them a vision that first there's going to be a disaster, right? So along the lines of what you're talking about, like something really bad that's going to be in the cities, right? But they don't know what it is. Some think it's a tsunami. Some think, they really don't know. They just have this, like, things are all destroyed, okay? And then the second, a lot of them, they'll start off when they're little kids, and then at first they don't have any contact with them whatsoever. But at a certain point, after 15 years or so, some of them try to make contact with the aliens, and then when they do, the aliens start telling them, that they're going to change their DNA, right? They're going to change their DNA. Now, for me, the idea of the DNA changing, that is scary, right? To me, that's scary. And then it's all about what they're talking about in these movies, and changing everybody's DNA, and then the cloning tubes and all this stuff. Okay, if you go back, the DNA was the big deal. Like when God would destroy whole cities and all the animals and everybody, the kids and the women and the children and everything, that was ones that had their DNA changed. And so, that's going to be bad, okay? That means really bad. Now they're talking about this RFID chip that they put in. When they put it in you, it's going to change your DNA. It's supposed to change your DNA so you could live 1,000 years or 200 years. Or it's going to make you live longer so you won't die. That's how everybody's going to want it. I'll want that. Everyone would want that. But it's a bad thing. I have a feeling it's a really bad thing. I think that's the thing that we should be not wanting. We all should get away from that and fight that, because that is what they're programming us, and that is how they're going to save us. That's what they say.
Right. Now,
it's not going to save us.
Now, again, you guys, I'm throwing theories out there. There's a lot of people who are talking about what's going to be happening here pretty soon in September. And another theory that I've been hearing is the elite is going to be taken out, the cabal, the New World Order, with the help of certain aliens. Yeah. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know. But a lot of people seem to be going that route. And I don't know what to say about that. I don't know, because I don't have any proof whatsoever about that. But there are people who are in the field that we are in. That's what they're saying with their contacts, that the cabal and, which is the New World Order, is going to be taken out. I also heard that, again, whatever's happening to us right now in the month of September, to 23rd to the 28th, that CERN, once it's activated, it's going to stop from us changing. So that way, the cabal, the New World Order, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, will not be taken out, because we're going to finally see what's really going on out there. And you guys already know what's happening. For those who watch, these kind of shows and listen to these type of podcasts, you guys know that there is such an elite out there and what they're doing. So I don't know. Now I'm really thinking that the CERN was built to open up something. But the question is, what's the reason that they're trying to open it up? Is it for a good or for a bad? All right.
It's going to be the war that's going on, that we know is going on, and everybody. I mean, they're telling you about it all the time. Just the last Starfighter, the good against the bad.
Well, yeah.
All of them have the good against the bad. Well, the supernatural part of it, or really not, it's dimensional, that is going to be opened up where we could see the dimensional side of it.
Right.
Where they already can see us, we just can't see them. And when that falls away, that is when they're going to need, people are going to freak out.
Big time.
I mean, yeah, and that's what's going to happen really, is they don't want us to see it though, that they don't want us to really, but they know we're going to, and they know,
I believe
we're in trouble.
Right. I believe there are wars going on right now in space. I believe, I believe we have a base behind the moon. I believe those triangles, the TR-3Bs and other, weird crafts that we have, we've already been going up there into space, and I believe our military special space projects it's been going on for a long time. All right, you guys, and it's, I think some of that is I know it's hard to believe. I know it's really hard to believe, but Mars, I believe that there's already stuff going on Mars and in the backside of the moon. We're just left in the dark, man. We are. As a matter of fact, you're starting to hear weird things now on the media, the mainstream media. Let me give you an example. What just happened a couple days ago. Listen to this. All right, listen to this.
Oh, the alien guy.
Yes, listen to this, guys.
God, dude.
This is such a bizarre story.
All right, listen.
That missing woman from Oxnard knows the dead man, works for the dead man's fiancée, and apparently still thinks that he was sent to Earth to protect us all. And her family tonight, as you can imagine, is worried.
I cannot believe this. It's worse than a Twilight Zone movie, and we've lived through hell.
The mother of a missing Oxnard woman, Dawn Van Bunker, believes that her daughter is in the middle of a mysterious death investigation tonight and may be having a mental breakdown. This past week, police found a man's decomposing body in an SUV parked in the Palisades. And at a townhouse down the street, they found hundreds of guns and tons of ammunition. Well, it turns out that the dead man's fiancée, Catherine Nebron, is Dawn Van Bunker's boss, and the two women were with the man when he died. But they never reported the death because they believed he was a secret agent, but with a twist.
He was part alien and part human. and he was out to save the world, and he was higher than the CIA, and that every time we were there, that we were being watched.
And the women apparently believed that alien or CIA operatives would collect the man's body while they went to Oregon.
It was craziness that was totally nuts.
Harlan Braun is the fiance's attorney and is shocked by what was discovered at the Palisades home.
We found a lot of cash. We found guns. We found, stuff that could be used for snipers. There are cars that were modified for, desert travel. He could have been working for anyone. It's hard to imagine, however, that it's a total figment of imagination because there was so much money involved. There's almost $5 million worth of guns that were taken by the police. The police also uncovered 6.5 tons of ammunition at one condo in the Palisades.
Laura Vad Bunker isn't quite sure why her daughter believes the alien secret agent story, but she wants her to come home now and get some help. That daughter, Dawn Van Bunker, who is 39, by the way, has yet to contact her parents or her 2 teenage daughters and may still actually be up in Oregon. Meanwhile, the dead man, identified tonight as Jeff Lash, has other storage units that are still unopened. No telling what they may find in there. In the newsroom, I'm Rick Chambers. Guys, let me throw it back to you in the studio.
Rick, that's KTLA for Los Angeles Channel 5, you guys. That is not, your Paranormal Central talking, okay?
Yeah, if I was that girl, I wouldn't go home.
She is hiding because
the mom's like, just come home now. Like,
she is hiding. She is feared for her life. She's gonna die. They're gonna kill her. I guarantee you. She's not going to be around anytime soon.
Like $5 million worth of guns.
And also they found
tons of ammunition.
They found a vehicle that was built to run underwater. And he had that.
Yeah, I heard just recently there's 3 or 4 more storage units that they haven't even looked in yet.
And I guarantee you they're going to find stuff in there that they're not going to announce what it is, because I got a feeling it's going to be just mind-blowing. Or they're going to say some bull crap find, and they're just going to say, oh, we just found more boxes and nothing really, that you guys need to know about, all right? That is just bizarre and weird. I mean, this is all over the media, you guys. They're mentioning alien, and they're mentioning what they said. Oh God, what? How did they describe the dude? He was part alien. Oh my God. And anyways, he was a crossover basically. So. Yeah, that was.
What's he gonna do with all that guns?
I don't know.
Like what if he was on the good side?
What if he's getting ready for whatever's supposed to happen in September, and they got to him first?
Yeah, and he was gonna pass out guns and ammo to everybody to help.
Fight.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna. What is he gonna do with all that stuff all by himself?
He's not, and everything was legit. For some reason, he said
he was gonna. Yeah.
They're saying
He's getting ready to have an army.
Right. Right. Exactly. But where did the part alien CIA good people wow, really?
Yeah.
That's some crazy stuff. Okay, we're almost done here. We got about 8 minutes left. The last thing I'm going to talk about is hold on here. The better half is sending me some information here. Let me see what the heck she wants. By the way, I don't see anything. Hold on. Stand by. Chat wants you to talk about half alien dude and was found dead in weapons. Oh, I just did that. Wow, that's cool. Okay. All right. Now okay, let's talk about these doctors that are turning up dead.
Man, there's a lot of them.
All right, let me go really quick and show you a snapshot of these 5. Now, why are these doctors showing up dead? And not even just showing up, they're dying on suspicion. I mean, reasons that they can't figure out. Very young. Some are dying with gunshot wounds. And what's weird is that they say that every single one of these doctors that are dead recently in the past, were visited by the feds, FBI, feds. Now, what do all these doctors have in common? They are trying to treat cancer patients with alternative medicine. What is alternative medicine, Jeffrey? Well, not really medicine per se. It's more like eating the right foods, taking the right vitamins, something that Monsanto does not want you to hear about. Okay, these are just these 5. Let me show you another. This guy here. All right, this guy was a dentist, found dead of a massive heart attack while jogging. Now you're probably going, well, people do that all the time. But the family members are talking or coming out and saying stuff like, he was in the best shape ever. He was only 41. He died of a massive heart attack? What? And then this guy, no relation to me, but his name is Gonzalez, Nicholas Gonzalez. He's also another, how do you pronounce it? Holistic. He's also treating a holistic cancer treatment pioneer, Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez. And this guy is well known all over the place. Even the movie stars know this guy. And he dies. How did this guy die? They found him with a gunshot, I believe, to the chest. I think. Let me see. Nicholas relays news of early death Tuesday. Cause of death was, cardiac related heart attack. But some of these other ones were found floating in a lake, in a river, with a gunshot wound through the chest. All these doctors that are dying, all young ones, are dying because they're actually curing cancer by not using pharmaceutical drugs. And that right there, my friends, is a way for you to die. To prove to the elite that you don't need chemotherapy. You don't need these pills that cost $1,000, $2,000 each to take to help you fight leukemia and cancer. I was just reading that leukemia can be cured by eating avocado. Go Google that right now. Avocado, they just found that it cures leukemia. But you're not going to hear about this on the media. There's no way, because this is a multi-gazillion dollar business. Right now, the Congress just, I don't want to say passed, but they killed a law that was going to allow foods in our grocery store to be labeled with what's in them. And they all said, no way, absolutely not. So Monsanto basically won this one. Because there's crap that they're putting in all of our foods that are causing these cancers, these illnesses. All right? So there is something very sinister that is going on with the government, the elite. They do not want these doctors to come out and say, I just cured this 10-year-old child who had leukemia, is 100% cured now. These doctors were succeeding in what they were doing. They were actually curing people without using medicine. It's all about eating the right way, consuming the right minerals, vitamins. I know they work because I don't get sick very often, and when I start to get sick, I will go and gobble up so much vitamins and minerals, just regular vitamins, like vitamin C, vitamin D, and these multivitamins. I'll just start chugging them, and the sore throat or the fever or whatever will completely stop.
And you have to be careful though. One of my friends, a really good close friend, she was doing that, like taking certain things, and then she wound up in the hospital, and she was all confused, and she didn't know where she was.
Well,
she was hallucinating.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm not saying going and eating and taking 10 pills of the multivitamins. I'm not.
I don't know what she was doing, but some of them that she was taking had an interaction with another one. It wasn't that she was doing too many,
right? But
there needed to be somebody that knew about how they, interact, because it actually messed up her mind, and she was in the hospital for a little while.
Well,
and it took them a while to figure it out too.
What I take is your regular vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and multivitamins, and I take, a couple of pills each, and a couple times a day. And I don't, really go all out. I don't. And just by that much, it works for me. It absolutely works for me. Now, we got about 2 minutes left of music, so.
I'm like totally, they're keeping me alive. I don't know why. I mean, if they want to kill everybody. But they keep me alive, and they just saved my leg. I mean,
right.
The reason I'm not there, a lot of people don't know, the artery where they did the surgery is right in the bend in the leg. So it goes right straight from your heart, splits right near your belly button. One goes down each leg. That's where they did the operation.
Wow.
Right on the main artery.
Okay. All right.
If I bend, I'm gone.
Right.
Break it.
Okay. Well, hey, we got about 20 seconds left. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. All you new listeners who are listening to us now on artbell.com. Come back next Sunday. We start at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific. And, we try to give you stuff here that you have never even seen or heard from before, ever. And I hope we're doing our job, because apparently you guys are watching and listening to us. So I want to thank you. For Jeffrey Gonzalez.
I'll be there next week.
Yeah, for Jeffrey
I'll
Gonzalez.
Be there.
For Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas and Danny Valdrama and Heidi Hollis, I want to thank you for showing up. This is Paranormal Central that you have been watching and listening to. Wherever you may be, thank you for showing up. We'll see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and on ArtBell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.